and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the 13 Card Subject Change. Leroy's in the chair. Jesse is in the chair as well.
I can't believe I'm back again.
Yes, you are back again.
It feels so good to be back again.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
You know, I think I have to upgrade my chair and get it more comfy because I'm just producer.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get a
tingly-like chair over there.
I'll find some comfortable chairs for you guys, too. That'd be good, you know.
A couple of non-wrestling things to get out of the way. We were supposed to have Adam Collins for the Pro Wrestling World on today. He wasn't feeling too hot. We told him that's not a problem. We can definitely have him on whenever we can.
Right.
Big news in the world that deserves mentioning. Jesse, congratulations. The first ever black woman on the Supreme Court. That is big news. It deserves to be talked about.
And a deserving judge, not just usually one of your corporate judges.
I listened to her depositions, and I thought to myself, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And here's why. She was talking about taking it case by case and being honest. I'm like, wait, hold on. A judge that's doing what they're fucking supposed to do?
Right.
Hold on, time out.
And usually they don't like to do that with the Supreme Court. But yeah, got to give credit where credit is due, even to some of the conservatives who voted for it. Good job, because really it's not about left or right; it's about getting the right kind of justice in there.
She sounded. And I know this is kind of, as you've told me before, this is definitely an older, grizzled black woman trait.
Oh, for sure.
She sounded confident.
Oh, for sure.
She sounded like this was not going to be that big of a deal to her at all. She was going to walk in.
She's been a judge for over 20 years.
No.
Used to actually be a public defender.
Yeah.
And I know that's actually really big in the country, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on, is actually getting former public defenders as judges, because then they can understand both sides.
Well, and I think... And I think one of the most important things that people kind of have to understand is that part of being on the Supreme Court, because they've made some decisions the last couple of years that Allison's been a little iffy on, they have to follow one set of rules.
They might make a few more.
Well, yeah. But remember, in my opinion, and this is who I am, as long as they follow what the Constitution says, they can't go wrong. I'm sorry they can't. But, it's like...
We'll see.
Well,
but this was definitely a step in the right direction. Brett Kavanaugh has shockingly been okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's good news.
Yes.
Biden, we need one more before you get your old ass out of there, because you know you ain't getting another 4 years.
Yep. And then some sad news. Our hearts go out not only to the Buckeye Nation, Pittsburgh Nation, to the family of Dwayne Haskins. Boy, could he play quarterback in college.
So, yesterday I had a stomach virus, so I couldn't work at all. But I woke up. I'm getting ready to try to, get up and go drive, and this Twitter thing keeps popping up. It says R.I.P. Dwayne, and I'm like, I swear if this is the Rock, this is not going to be a good day.
Hold on.
So
hold on.
I get on Twitter before I even pop in the shower, and when I see that young man's face, I was just like, damn, that's just only 24.
We didn't even know if he could play quarterback. He was only 24.
They were going to give him a chance. The whole point of bringing Trubisky in was
to start competition.
Was to start a competition.
Yeah.
Trubisky would have the head.
Yep.
Because as we all know, unfortunately, if you're a Bears fan, even you've had one of the worst coaches not named Adam Gase in the last couple of years.
And you got Trubisky to the playoffs twice, though.
Right. And a lot of that is Matt's a great play caller, but he's not a good developer of anything. No. So to see that Dwayne and Trubisky were gonna kind of go face head to head, and it was Trubisky's idea to kind of call him down, to even kind of get to know each other, and do the competition, and just tragedy strikes.
I loved watching him play college football. I mean, he was a hell of a quarterback.
I thought if with the right person, he would have became a really good pocket passer for sure.
Well, when I saw that too, it was like I saw it on my Facebook. I'm like, what? And I'm like rolling down. Oh shit! This is true. What the heck? It's like
So our hearts go out to his family.
Basically, still kind of a kid.
Yeah,
just 24.
Yeah, that's really.
Well,
sad.
to go for sad news, we get some happy news. We have to wish wonderful wedding bliss to Miss Alexa Bliss,
Little Miss Bliss and her
husband, what's her name again?
Ryan Cabrera.
Ryan Cabrera.
But
lovely pictures. Great article in People that came out.
But then,
congratulations to them.
I know you got an issue with Ryan.
That guy is one of the worst one-hit wonders ever. I know some people think he's more than a one-hit wonder. Music is subjective. I get it, just like pro wrestling. She could have definitely aimed higher. But you know what? I am not here to judge.
No.
Congratulations to the couple. Also, congratulations to Carmella
and
Corey Graves.
Yes.
What? Can't wait to have the king back.
Sex is going to suck with those large-ass noses because, I mean, you smell everything in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Was Allison thankful that Corey got married, or is she still dogging on him?
She's a bit half and half on that.
Oh, okay, all right.
She enjoyed
happy for Carmella. Who cares about Corey?
I actually got to meet Carmella when she was in NXT.
Okay, yeah.
And I actually got to hang with her a little bit at one of the bars, and he couldn't be happier for them.
Oh, yeah.
He said Carmella was one of the sweetest people on planet Earth.
Yeah.
That's when he thought Enzo was a better human being than what Enzo turned out to be.
Sometimes the sweetest
Enzo
people...
turned out to be right in a lot of senses, but...
It's really odd because both women fit this. Sometimes the sweetest people in real life make the best bitches on television. They really do.
There you go.
Well, because, Lexi is one of those people who, even when she was getting into the business, apparently, if not for Papa H, she was kind of taking some bullying.
Yeah.
And, Papa Paul was like, yeah, we're not doing that. We don't do that here. So listen, I'm happy for both couples,
and we are also here to report because it was said in the People article. It was said in multiple.
By the way,
articles.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Bailey. So Bailey, if you're ever single,
she is single.
You could go ahead.
Well, she is single.
You can drop in my DMs.
Either
ding dong.
It's official.
And then Mox has to learn how to dress properly.
Nah, man.
Let me be clear about something.
If you thought Mox was going to dress anything,
John Moxley and Zach. If Zach could wear what John Moxley wore to his wedding, Zach would do it. These guys are the worst. Don't suits for shit.
No. See, when he gets married, I want to wear a shirt that says, "Oh my God, he's a dumbass." But I think Kathy probably would be mad at me if I wear that because I have
the missus in my wedding.
So I'm gonna wear a shirt that says, "Oh my God, she could have done better."
Yeah.
And then that way, when Allison looks out, she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, I love him."
See, and then are you gonna have an arrow pointing up? To yourself?
I won't do that to Allison, but she'll understand.
She'll understand
the context.
I think that would be. I'd stand next to you and I'd just go like this.
You know what's even worse is I've yet to meet her mother, and I have a feeling the mother would love that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know where I stand. My mother would love it too. I don't know. I think I've told this story on the podcast, but when Allison was still in college, she was working at the library at Lake Superior College. She got asked out by a guy, and she felt really weird about it, really awkward about it. First thing my mom said when she heard the story was, "Well, was he cuter than Zach?" My mother, ladies and gentlemen.
Your mother sounds like my mother.
Yeah, exactly.
So loving.
But no, we're also here to be clear to the internet. I want to make this very clear. If you read the People magazine article that came out shortly after the wedding, because they did it before the wedding,
right?
They got engaged around November 2020, and basically from the moment on, they were planning this wedding. They don't not have creative plans for her. She's not going to get released. She's been doing this for the last fucking year.
Well, year and a half, 2 years, because, of course, with the pandemic, no one could really get
but the other thing about it is, Jesse, it's much like Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland getting Finn back during the Rumble.
Right.
People that worked during the pandemic are getting time off now, even during big events, because it's like, motherfuckers, they worked through a really fucking hard time.
People forget she was basically, even though she wasn't wrestling, she was there every week.
She was there every week.
She was there at all the tapings.
So calm down. She'll be back.
Right.
But I'm sure now the honeymoon's going to happen.
Right.
And look, folks, the reports that they don't have stuff for these people, if it ain't coming from the wrestler, shut the hell up. And if it comes from Dave Meltzer, which Jesse, yes, we have to talk about Dave a little later. I'm sorry. Not a single 5-star on WrestleMania. And he actually took down a 4.5-star review, funny enough.
Yeah, apparently
it involves Cody.
And he wouldn't give Cody one.
He wouldn't give it to Cody because of what Seth said. Which, by the way, Seth was right, but we'll get to that later. Yeah. But anyway,
I agree.
I want to start the show off with this. It's kind of a crazy comment from me. For an after Mania week, kind of disappointing. In fact, the two best things that happened and the thing I'm most looking forward to this week are surprisingly in AEW.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Great tag match because FTR was leading. Sorry, they were. Go back and watch
By the way,
match.
I want to be clear though about this AEW show.
Yeah,
Rampage was great. Dynamite in the middle sucks.
I was about to get to that though, Jesse. The other thing is, by the way, I'm sorry for those of you that are saying,
and I do agree, Raw at the Mania was kind of a downer.
SmackDown was a little better.
SmackDown was a little better.
But let me finish this statement quick.
Go for it.
I'm sorry, Tony Khan. Don't start tweeting "A Star Is Born." Wheeler Yuta's already been a made man. Just nobody heard about him because nobody had been able to watch it. Wheeler Yuta, what a week he had in one night.
Right.
An amazing performance. And I couldn't be happier for him. He's gonna,
sure.
He's gonna learn from some great people.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Bryan's getting 2 out of the 4 people he wanted in a faction. Sadly, the other 2 are stuck with Jericho. Long story there. Well, Lee Moriarty's still out there.
I'm about to say, he'll still get Lee Moriarty pretty quick, I think.
Sadly, Garcia's stuck with Jericho. But
we'll see.
But we'll see what happens. No, Jesse, Wheeler Yuta was an absolute star on Friday night. Yeah. That was phenomenal.
Listen, I mean, what 2 better guys to work with than John and Brian?
He's got William Regal, too.
And William Regal, which is, I mean, what a guy to have in your corner.
Oh, damn right,
yeah. Aaron even said, I don't know much about Wheeler. I'm like, Wheeler's been putting down some bangers for a while.
Wheeler's been doing a lot of good he was doing a lot of good technical work before he signed with AEW.
Yeah.
And now he's just growing, and expanding what he can do.
Sadly, now we have to get to what we normally get to. AEW just won't shut the fuck up. Number 1, Bucks. Sorry that Cody left for greener pastures. Quit being little bitches on your Twitter and your passive-aggressive bullshit. That's
so
number 1.
Apparently they took some shots or something, someone said. What's new.
They said they had to return a shovel. A couple of shovels, I think it was. They've changed their Twitter handle. Not their handle, but they've changed the top Twitter message a couple of times.
Oh, the bio?
Yeah, the bio a few times. Boys, look, just because you couldn't go there for decent money and actually fit in the system is not Cody's fault. Cody, we're going to get into Cody because a lot's come out since, and I think we've now got the full range picture.
Right.
Great promo on Raw, though, by the way, which reportedly was unscripted.
Yeah, so what did I say? Money talks.
Yeah.
And if WWE is paying you a certain amount, guess what? You get to get away with a little bit more.
You know what? There's only one thing I love that promo, but I fucking hate you, Cody.
He made you cry, didn't he?
Yes.
Dusty in the Garden, everybody.
Oh,
Dusty
my
in the Garden.
God. Talking about your dad. Damn you, Cody. Oh, my God, it was good.
I guarantee you, when he said that Liberty has the same eyes as Dusty, you probably teared up as well. But
it's
Raw
bad.
after Mania, not what I thought it would be. But here's the deal: they did over 2 million. They did.
That was 2.1 was the first one.
Was the average, yeah.
I think SmackDown is at 2.15 or something. It actually dropped.
Yeah.
But listen, they have they have an extra actual megastar.
They do
on Raw.
Yes.
That's a bankable guy.
Yeah, which will make USA happy.
Yes.
But it's just here. Okay, but it's just here's the thing.
And then there's a new guy, Ezekiel.
Fuck you, Ezekiel! I waited 15 minutes to do that.
I already said it once in my opening monologue.
So I don't know.
Here, timeline. You guys are gonna enjoy the story. So
okay, yes.
I'm watching. I'm watching the
About
Kevin.
what? Elias will be back in a little bit. His brother's just taking his place for a bit.
So I'm watching the Kevin Owens promo as he comes out, and of course Kevin's great. So he's making up all these excuses on why.
Oh, Kevin's a goddamn genius.
Oh,
he's
just
absolute.
And then
genius.
I heard the generic music and I see Ezekiel. And just like everyone else,
Ezekiel Jackson.
My first thought was, oh shit, they got Ezekiel Jackson back.
That's exactly what I thought too.
I don't understand this rock music with him, but okay.
Yeah.
And then this white dude walks out. I'm like, okay, who's this? And then as the camera starts to slowly get close, I did the same thing everyone else in the venue did. Was like, is that fucking Elias?
Yeah, right.
I knew it was Elias the minute. I'm like,
I will say this.
You son of a bitch, Elias, you shaved.
I will say this.
Oh my, cut his hair too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I just want to say this.
God.
This is the only thing I have to say right now because it's so new. If he just keeps going with the fact that everyone thinks he's Elias except for him, I will love this till as the day is long.
How long? It'll be interesting how long they can go with it.
I know, right?
It'll be fun.
Well, the moment Kevin Owens clearly addressed this, I went, I think I love where this is going.
But that was the thing. Much like with Jericho in AEW, when you turn around and and on camera you're self-aware,
right.
we're not as angry about it. We're really not.
Then it becomes fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, then we all get it.
Yeah.
We all get the joke here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's roll with this.
But now before we go back to the Raw after Mania, back to the Bucks, Jesse, they are so butthurt by what Cody got. It is not even funny.
I think Tony Khan's butthurt too.
We'll get to him in a second. We got to talk about these two first because Jesse, what did they do as a follow-up? They got beat clean for arguably the first time in a while.
Which, that was the right thing to do.
But that was the right thing to do the first fucking match.
Probably.
Why do they do everything in reverse?
Here's the thing. If they would have did it the first match, and they would have just beat FTR for both belts if they didn't deserve to win.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. But, I mean, Jesse, we're talking about two guys who are more self-aware than anybody. We've always given them at least that.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
But the fact is that, boys, if Cody doesn't do this, do you give FTR this match? That's a real question.
Probably not. I don't think so.
I don't think Tony had anything to do with this, even though Tony's the one booking 3, 4, 5 shows. Oh, yeah, by the way, folks, Dark and Elevation are still shows, even though they don't even fucking talk about it
I want to say, they don't even mention it anymore.
I sent Jesse the record of somebody, and Jesse messaged back like, "Are you fucking serious?" Ruby Soho only has 4 losses in AEW. She's 22-4.
Really?
You wouldn't know it because she loses on nothing but fucking national television.
Which is why you never see her on national television anymore.
Oh, but wait, hold on. You know who else wins a lot and doesn't have a lot of losses? Oh, yeah, that's right. Jay Lethal, but he loses on national television every fucking time. So, here's the thing.
Big paid jobbers.
Here's the thing. Tony, you are also clearly butthurt. You are now tweeting something that everyone in the known universe is talking about. I want to be very clear. I wish I was a paid bot by WWE to rip on you every goddamn week that I get the opportunity to. I wish I got paid for this.
They don't pay. No, we don't get paid, but we still rip on them.
I wish Vince was sending me a check every week to rip your ass a new one. But here's the deal. I rip your ass a new one because you fucking deserve it, homeboy. Because here's the deal. How desperate do you have to sound to where you're talking about hundreds of thousands of bots? WWE's paying for... Vince didn't know what Twitch was till a year ago, but he knows what bots are?
I don't even think he knows what Twitter is.
That's what I'm trying to make sense of this.
I don't think he knows what Twitter is.
And by the way, the sad part about it is he was fucking serious.
I know he was.
This was a serious thing.
But is he trying to seriously say that Vince and WWE are the ones that are doing this?
Yes. He's trying to convince us that Vince...
That's how I was trying to wrap my head around there.
He wants you to believe that Vince McMahon is spending half of his week, which, by the way, Vince doesn't sleep, so that might be true. But he's trying to convince you that Vince is actually spending these record profits on internet bots and trolls to go out there and say AEW's crap.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Jesse, quick question. I know you and a bunch of these people would do it, but I don't think NBA Twitter was paid to say what they said about Jericho.
No.
They did that because that was funny. They did that because they wanted to.
They
was
did that
truthful.
because they saw Chris Jericho.
It was truthful.
They were just spitting
it
facts.
was the truth.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They would have taken the check, but
Right.
But let's be honest here. Chris Jericho was out of shape when they said it.
Yeah.
But no, it's just Tony Khan. For the love of God, Leroy, please say it for me.
Tony, shut the fuck up.
Jesse, what do you do with this guy? I just... For all the good he does in wrestling,
he
just
rehab?
shoots himself in the foot every time he goes on the Twitter.
Does he need rehab and intervention or something?
I gotta be absolutely honest with you guys. I put out a tweet on my personal thing and I retweeted it with ours.
Okay.
I think it got the most traffic we've gotten so far.
Okay, great.
Because I simply said this. I'm done talking about this fucking guy. Unless it's about his booking, I'm not talking about Tony Khan anymore.
Yeah.
This guy is a child. Whose daddy gave him this money.
Yep.
Because clearly without daddy giving you this money,
you wouldn't do this.
He wouldn't have this fucking money to begin with. He's a terrible businessman.
Oh, yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
2, he's too emotionally invested.
Daddy's not emotionally invested in the Jaguars, and that's not a bad thing.
Daddy is emotionally invested, but you should be emotionally invested to a point where even you can go, I need to take myself out of this situation right now.
And Tony can't do that.
And he can't do it.
No, he can't do that because Jesse... He does every interview possible. Vince has had one in, 16 years?
Yeah, about to say, the Pat McAfee one was the first one in 16, 17 years.
It was 2 decades.
Right.
But it's just, Tony takes every interview he can get. He showed up at the UFC event. They spelled his name wrong, but you know what? The guy doing that thing still does a better job than the guy you got doing your banner on your show. But anyway, I was glad Jim was there. It's nice to see Jim out and enjoying himself. Right. But no, I mean, when it comes to just things going on, Tony, focus on getting a show that doesn't make Jessie go halfway through the 2 hours being like, why am I sitting here waiting for the main event? Because I don't know what's happening.
Dude, every time I go back and I watch one of my replays of Dynamite, because sometimes I'll work, so I'll catch it.
Yeah,
I'll DVR
and
catch it right after.
I caught most of this week on repeat.
Yeah. And I'll go back, and it's so schizophrenic. I'm like, it feels like Kevin Dunn books it.
Yeah.
But I know he doesn't have good ideas, so that's why I know the good ideas must be coming from Tony Khan. So he's capable of doing this at some level.
Yeah.
But the way the show flows, I'm like, it feels like it's a Kevin Dunn full-on production.
Yeah.
And not just all of his camera cuts.
But that's just my whole thing, is just, Jessie, this is a show that they try to don't tell me you don't care about ratings anymore, Kenny. You try to pop a number at the top of the hour, although half the time you give us job guys, and I'm like, why are we? And yes, okay, I get it, folks. I'm talking about guys who are in wrestling. I'm technically not a wrestler, but we know who they are. We're not going to sit here and act like that you're not job guys. Sorry, but you're not. No one's buying a ticket to see half the people on the AEW roster. They're not. They're buying the ticket to see. By the way, it's funny. They gave WWE shit for having that built-in audience. You're the most built-in audience in all of sports.
They got busted with it this week. So.
Yes. I saw that.
So
I heard that
Guevara,
too.
That crowd turned on Sammy Guevara and Ty
Yes.
Conti. And all of a sudden you start hearing cheering where you don't see it anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, busted.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that from AEW fans no more.
No more piped-in crowd noise, everybody.
What was that?
Yeah.
Like, do I hate that WWE did it? Sure, but when they were doing it at first, it started during the pandemic.
Yep.
And I said, all right, I get it.
They're still trying to put on a show.
Right. Now with the crowd back, get rid of it because it's obnoxious, right? We all agree.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it now?
Yeah. Because Jessie...
They're pulling a Cody or something.
No.
In
AEW,
that shit.
No. It has nothing to do with Sammy and Ty, although they've really not endeared themselves to anyone.
No, they have not.
But here's my thing. Folks, I want to be very clear about something. Tony is starting to realize, and Jessie said, a lot of them are from the streets of Chicago here.
Right.
I hate to say it. WWE actually, it's flipped. They now have the audience that seems to, and this is actually happening more and more throughout the country, not just in Texas. They're the crowd that's coming, and they're kind of just enjoying the show.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a crowd that wants to be the show. That's what AEW is becoming, and part of it is that Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti are now incredibly unlikable on camera. I nothing against them in their personal lives. I've said from the get-go we're not going to talk about their personal lives.
Here's the thing, though. When you start to interject part of your personal life into your
That's
story, like, I hate to tell wrestlers, but when you do that, it becomes fair game.
Why do you think Alexa has not brought Ryan on to Raw? Alexa Bliss, technically on Raw, could play a love angle, and it would make sense to the audience because she has kept her and Ryan. I mean, they're both public figures. They can't stop that.
Right.
But Alexa Bliss on camera is single.
Right.
Lexi Kaufman is not.
Right.
It's that fucking simple.
Right.
But the thing about WWE is that they will bring real screen on if the wrestlers are okay with it. I don't know what Tony's policy is because remember, Adam and Matt did not have to basically go through therapy on Monday Night Raw.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
But they decided to, and they were very professional about it. Although it looked like they were trying to kill each other. And both men actually went on to have very successful lives after the situation.
And we became friends again afterwards. So.
Sometimes life.
Well, see,
I
look at the audience as AEW and WWE. The WWE universe, which includes the fans that are sitting there and at home, they know they're part of it.
Yeah.
But they don't have to be part of it.
Well, but that's just
they understand
that. Jesse warned you when you bring CM Punk on. You bring the fans who, and by the way, WWE didn't have this problem until Punk got big. You bring on Punk's fans are the fans who always wanted to be heard, but people used to shut them up because they were like, just sit down and enjoy the show. Right. But Punk got the whole audience into it because, again, he's a very charismatic man. I'm not taking that away from Phil Brooks, but Phil brings an audience that you need to understand they're going to try to take over the show. Mm-hmm. And NXT's even got a few issues with it, but most of that crowd kind of shuts up those people pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, they know. I mean, they are part of the show. The crowd is part of the show to a certain point, and they know this. People that go there, they know it. You've been there a couple times. You know it. Yeah, you're there for the entertainment of the show. You are not taking over. You are not part of the show.
No.
You're watching the show.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. And WWE fans are smart when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Some AEW fans are not that smart
and
think they need to do this.
No. Well, and again, another issue.
Not all of them, just some.
And another issue that I'm not bringing up because it's another shot at them, but it's true. Jesse, part of it is not a lot of children in the audience that you're sitting there letting enjoy the show.
All I want to say, Leroy, is when I watch pro wrestling on a television, it's amazing. Most of the time, or even when we go to shows.
Yeah.
Usually a lot of kids, and it brings me hope for the future of pro wrestling, right? So
MAW, by the way, Bloomermania, 1,025 confirmed people.
By the way, great show. I cannot wait to catch it.
Congratulations to our girl, Laney Luck, deserving of it.
Yes.
And if anyone deserved that first ever MAW, beautiful belt, by the way, women's title.
She's so deserving.
Oh, I saw a wide angle of the venue where it was at, and oh my God, it was packed.
1,025 people.
Just like the Turtle Lake went. If
I didn't have to work, I would have been there.
Same.
If I didn't have to work,
I know we're invited to go, but I'm like, we can't.
Thank you to Eli and all those guys for kind of mentioning us and stuff. Man, I wanted to go so bad.
Yeah,
I really did. But because I'll watch a show. Hell, even in Japan, I'll watch a show. Hell, even in Mexico, I'll watch a show.
Mexico's
a ton
different.
Of children.
It's different in Mexico because it's a family event.
Right.
In Japan, what is usually the kid audience ratio there? It's usually fairly good.
It's usually about 40% kids in that audience.
Okay.
And by the way, I think they kind of, because here's the thing, they usually let the gaijin swear because to be fair,
they don't understand what
they
they're
don't actually understand what the gaijin are saying anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they know English.
Not a word is understood.
If they understand English and the parents just, you can cover the ear. Like you know, if you understand English and you're about to hear Zack Sabre Jr. promo, cover your kid's ear.
Yeah.
He's going to say the F word a lot. But
a guy I love Zack Sabre
I do love Zack Sabre Jr. But I watch an AEW show. Besides the pay-per-views every now and then, not a lot of kids.
No,
not a lot of people bringing. And
oddly enough, it's the audience that Jim Cornette said that they were going to have. It's the 18 to 30-year-old audience, not the 18 to 49. That's a TV thing. It's an 18 to 30-year-old audience that they're kind of. This is what they like in the moment.
Right.
This is not something like Jesse. This is, and again, I've been watching a lot of old school music stuff recently. This is Autograph with Turn Up the Radio in the 80s.
Right.
It's not Motley Crue. You know, it's like, hey, Autograph was in the same clubs as Dawkins, as the same clubs as Motley Crue, but Motley Crue sold millions of records. Dawkins did pretty good themselves, and the only hit that Autograph ever had was Turn Up the Radio.
Right.
But that's what this is. Right now, they love this hit. The problem is that this isn't the band that you can see the talent. I mean, look, Autograph had talent. I'm not going to say they didn't. But this isn't a combination of arguably one of the most perfect rock bands ever when you've got Mick Mars, Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx, and fucking Vince Neil. Like,
there we go.
You combine those four guys, they would have been successful in any other band. You put them together, it's almost Beatles territory where it's like, actually, arguably, again, I don't like saying this because the man deserves the credit for being the drummer. When you look at the overall collectiveness of Motley Crue, it's more talented than the Beatles. Because, I mean, hate to say it, Ringo, you got the job. Ringo deserved the job, don't get me wrong, but we all know Paul and John wrote everything and Ringo just played.
Clearly Paul and John wrote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, George Harrison had a fairly good solo career.
Oh, very, very good.
But I mean, no, Jesse, it's 18 to 30. It's a short attention span. That's why it's so schizophrenic. They cheer because they don't remember the last segment because they don't care about the last segment.
It feels like it.
Raw
really
and SmackDown,
it's insane.
Raw and SmackDown, you care about who you come after because they're the ones who are going to set the tone for what you're doing.
Though Seth Rollins did, thank you. Though Seth Rollins did finally say publicly what we've all been thinking for like the last.
And Dave Meltzer.
And
Dave Meltzer got his butt hurt.
Oh.
Dave Meltzer got his butt hurt.
Put some lube on it. Have your mama kiss it. You'll be fine, Dave.
Dave's got a bunch of other people kissing his ass right now.
Well, that's true.
You know what?
He doesn't need mama.
Tony Khan, and Brian Alvarez are all in the same conversation with me. I don't talk about them unless they say something that's worth talking about, because otherwise it's just depressing.
Yeah.
It's just I like grown ass men that act like that. Like I that's depressing.
All for cheap internet views. That's it.
Definitely.
Dave literally was the gospel on pro wrestling, and then because he got burned a few times by
which, by the way, was his own fault. I mean, I don't blame. I mean, folks, what Jess is referring to is Dave went through a period where he was. I don't want to say he was reporting it improperly, but the opinion came out.
He was being given bad information.
Yes.
Which, as a journalist, sucks because a part of your job is to try to get information without, giving out the person's name, but you want to inform people.
Yeah.
And when your informant is basically now just doing the bidding of the company, I get why it becomes hard to trust the company. But there really is no reason at that point to continue to bash on everything in the company.
Right.
Just because the corporate heads wanted to get at you a little bit.
Folks, corporate will do what it wants always. That is the way of the world. You can't change it. It's not going to matter.
He said in the whole Dark Side of the Ring thing during the Vince McMahon trial, like, Vince looked at all the wrestling journalists like he wanted to kill them. And he probably did at the time.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, now that was over, Vince hadn't talked to the media in years, besides the Chris Benoit situation.
Yeah.
But outside of that, he hadn't talked to the media in years.
Yes.
So for Pat McAfee to kind of get that first interview was pretty amazing.
Yes, it was.
And he gave Pat free reign to talk about whatever. But that's why I'm like, that's why I become, especially with him and Brian Alvarez.
But Vince also knows when he sees a situation that needs to be unscripted, just let it be unscripted.
And here's the thing, Sean Ross Sapp still does a really good job. Him and WrestleVotes do a really good job, even they've been burned a couple times.
Yeah.
But you understand, hey, they probably got to the informant. There's nothing you can do.
Sean's a professional.
Right.
Sean gets that's how it works. Look, in the media, you are nothing without sources.
Right.
But the truth is that your sources also have a life too.
If you find out from your source that your source probably kind of hung you out to dry because they did
part
a
of the job.
thing, and
it's part of the job.
So you just got to back off that source and find a different
Are you ready
one.
for these ratings, Jesse?
Go for it.
All right, we're gonna start with Supercard of Honor, which you thought was the best show overall.
I thought was one of the best shows. Yeah. Of the weekend.
Strickland. All right, so Swerve versus Zayn. 3.25.
Okay.
Brian Cage versus Ninja Mac was 2.
Good to see you back, Brian.
Lee.
For whatever that's worth.
Lethal and Moriarty was 4.
Okay.
Mercedes Martinez and Willow Nightingale was a 1.75.
Wow.
Maybe he's not a fan of the girls being as stiff as Martinez works. I thought that match was at least a 2 or 3 star.
I thought
match.
it was at least a 2.5.
Yeah, it was a good show. Rhett Titus and your boy Minoru, 2.
Ooh.
To be fair, that was just an ass whooping. Though.
Oh yes. But it was at least a 4-star ass whooping.
I mean, listen, he got a 5-star ass whooping.
Oh yeah.
But the match is only worth 2.
Josh Woods versus Wheeler Yuta was a 2.25. I thought their match was a little better.
He gave it a what?
2.25.
I don't like that. I thought that match was really good.
Yeah.
I would have given it a 3.
Especially considering it was your last mid-card match before you got to the main events.
Right.
Briscoes and FTR, look, if he didn't do this, he'd probably be fired. That was a 5-star tag match if you ever saw it.
That was
he gave it 5 because it deserved to be 5.
That might be match of the year right now.
Gresham and Bandito was a 4.25.
Okay.
Came down a little bit. So he was fair because now Tony owns Ring of Honor. Now we go to Stand and Deliver. Dakota and Raquel Rodriguez, folks. The name change. Here's the. I don't want to talk about it. Name changes.
They've changed her name 3 times at this point. As long as they continue to book her well like they have done, I don't care.
Folks.
I'm done with it.
Folks, I'm done with it because guess what? They've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah.
They just changed her last name. Who cares?
They changed
Any of them, I don't care.
They changed her first name twice already.
I know they have.
Who cares?
All right, so Dakota and Raquel versus Toxic Attraction was a 3.
Okay. By the way, yeah, because it might be one of the best pre-show matches ever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, outside of, Asshole Aries and Pac all those years ago, which damn near stole WrestleMania if not for Seth and Randy.
Yeah.
I was just like, this might be one of the best opening matches I've ever seen.
The 5-way ladder match was a 4.25, which is about where I had it. It was a very good match. Tommaso versus Tony D. I'm sorry. It was more than just 3. I'm sorry.
Really?
For me, it was more than 3.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
thought it was
wow.
a 4.5-star match because, again, I know that Ciampa can have 5-star classics, but Ciampa was there to make a guy look good who's playing a brawler.
Sure. But I actually agree with Dave.
Okay.
I would have given it a 3.
Imperium versus the Creeds versus the now defunct MSK. Boy, has that situation gotten messy.
Really, it only got worse for him when she released a photo of him dressing like Hitler.
Yeah.
And then that seemed to be it.
I will say this, though. Even if it all comes out to be nothing, I can't blame WWE for what they did. Sorry, I can't.
Like, because everyone at first was actually half on his side about the whole original situation.
Yeah.
And then, it's like the Hitler photo kills you. That's
never take a photo
that's
or
why I
video
said
that you don't want to get out.
Well, I read the abuse allegations. WWE was okay with that. It was going to work with it, and then all that other shit. And then
because that was still a fluid situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But as soon as she released the photos of him dressing like Hitler,
my only issue with her is you sat on that photo, just like just like with Adrian Peterson, TMZ. You had that information for about 3 months.
This is the only thing I'm going to say about Kimberly.
Okay.
And then I hope their situation gets resolved because in a sense she cost this man his job.
Yeah. And she still has one.
For now, you cost this man his job. There's always a chance once it blows over they'll just bring him back.
True.
So we got to wait the next 2 to 3 months to see what happens.
And by the way, folks, for those of you thinking WWE won't touch him, no, they will, especially if it goes sour.
But the Hitler photo, they just once again, sometimes they're a bit reactionary with Nick Khan now recently. But what I've seen with the whole reactionary, Nick Khan basically does things like you would see Disney do. Reactionary, once it blows over, bring you back.
Yeah.
I hope she gets the help she needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever, because something is wrong there.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out if he did it or not.
Yep.
Because now he has no choice but to just go fully to court during this divorce.
Yes, yes.
But
that was a 4-star match.
But I hope she gets the help she needs because I've met Kimberly twice.
Yeah.
I've never thought she could be that kind of person.
Okay.
So I just hope the best.
Yeah. Mandy Rose, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray, and Jesse's favorite AEW defunctor, Cora Jade, arguably the real MVP of leaving AEW when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
that was only 3.5.
All I want to do is
3.5.
I want to come out with that damn entrance of hers from fucking Dark for those 3 weeks where she just had this little spider box and then she would get her ass whooped in 3 minutes and I'm gonna be like, now look at her now.
Yep. That was a 3.5-star match. Fatal 4.
Wow, only 3?
To me,
3.5?
To me, it was a 4-star match.
I thought it was a 4.25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Cora's still a little green.
Yeah.
They will work that out of her.
Yeah. Of course, Jesse, she didn't learn much getting squashed in 3 minutes on Dark.
No one. Dude, Sierra. They got the chance to get Sierra on Elevation and only let her get a minute of offense in. And that's when I knew they don't understand talent.
No, they don't.
Gunther and LA Knight was a 3.25.
That's you know what? That's higher than I would have ranked it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was disappointing.
Yeah.
These two could have had a better match.
Ziggler and Breaker was a 3.5.
I thought this was a 4-star match.
I thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ziggler is the best elevator of talent, arguably on that roster.
But it was the dumbest fucking decision of the weekend. The second dumbest.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because You end up giving it back to Braun anyway on Tuesday.
But
hey, fuck you up. What are you doing?
But hold on, folks. We're calling WWE out for it, much like y'all took the belt off of Britt Baker on. Like, they're both the wrong decision. We're making that very clear. We're not calling one out, but not calling out the other.
The schizophrenic booking this week of NXT is unacceptable. The reboot has actually been good. Don't screw it up, old man.
On to WrestleMania. Usos, Nakamura, and Boogs, in my opinion, should have been not rated because it just was what it was.
Yeah,
he gave it 1.5, which, again, folks, it's an injury.
He only gave it a 1.5 because they had to cut the match short once he got hurt.
Drew and Happy Corbin, I'm sorry, 2 points. I think it's higher than a 2.75. I actually enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a three-star match.
I agree with that. 3 would have been better.
Versus Miz, Logan Paul, 3.5.
Wow.
Really?
So he liked that one more than he liked the Drew Baron Corbin.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also want to get this out.
It's subjective. Okay.
And I also want to get this out. Dominic Mysterio is not ruining the Mysterio name. Ray's name is forever in lore.
Oh yeah. Yes. So before we move on from this match, your boy's a dick. Your boy's a dick, Leroy. Jim Cornette talking about this kid doesn't even belong there.
I agree.
What the hell is your problem, Jim?
I know. That was a bit much. Becky Lynch versus Bianca. I think this is about. I think it should be higher, but 4.5 is about where I think most people would have it.
I thought this was a 5-star match.
But this was a 5-star. This match. Forget the fact that it was a young black female. Forget the fact it was 2 females. This match you could have put in any territory. The crowd wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, it was an awesome match. Awesome match.
I went and watched my favorites of WrestleMania again, and I think I agree with your future wife. This was the best match of WrestleMania.
It was.
It was awesome match.
So
awesome
good.
Match.
Seth and Cody 4.5. I thought that's where they belonged.
I thought the only thing that was missing to give it a complete, because I actually gave it a 4.75.
Yeah.
The only thing that was missing to me was for like Cody to just kiss him on the cheek. Like they did to them when they thought they got the brothers fired in that story all those years ago with the Rhodes and the Shields.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But Cody's the babyface. You want to take it that route.
Yep.
But otherwise, I thought this was phenomenal.
Yep. All right. Charlotte versus
just a little kiss right there. Just
there we go. Yeah.
Just right above that.
And then laugh.
Charlotte versus Ronda was a 2.
Oh.
You know what? I don't blame him. I went back and watched it. What the hell is wrong with Charlotte Flair? Like, when she wants to, she go out there and put on an absolute banger.
Yeah.
But then there's just like, there's the Becky Lynch situation in Survivor Series where they were basically fist fighting each other.
Yeah.
There's this situation where you think you're going to try to physically fight Ronda Rousey?
It ain't going to work.
That's not happening.
You're lucky that woman didn't break kayfabe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stone Cold versus KO was 3.5.
All right.
For what it was, it's a 5 for me. It will always be a 5.
Match-wise, okay with that.
Yeah.
Spectacle-wise, it was a 6 out of 5.
Yeah, all day long.
Oh, damn right.
Phenomenal, dude.
Night 2. RK Bro versus Street Profits and Alpha Academy was a 4.25.
I agree.
Omos and Bobby Lashley, I'm sorry. It deserved more than a 0.5 because I actually thought it wasn't that bad for what it was.
I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 2 too, but not.
He did not rate Zayn versus Knoxville, but that's a 5-star comedy classic if there ever was
God,
one.
Yeah.
Well, fuck him, fuck Brian Alvarez, and fuck Jim Cornette.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
That was the most entertaining thing I saw.
And Sammy's
weekend.
And it was.
By the way, I told you, Sammy's been in some great shit.
Yeah,
that's his favorite. That's his all-time favorite wrestling moment he ever did.
I don't blame him.
Good for Sammy.
By the way, if you're a fan of indie wrestling too, how could you not love that?
Because it wasn't AEW. Anyway.
Probably.
Women's Fatal 4-Way, 2.5.
You know what? That's fine.
Yeah. It was underwhelming for what it could have been.
Because I did go back and watch it. So for those who don't know, the second night of Mania, Zach's future wife came to get me because when I came back from the cities, someone had my car in the garage but did not leave me my garage thing, so I couldn't get to my car. So she comes and gets me, and we actually got in like right in the halfway of that match. So I rewatched it finally Thursday morning. 2.5 is what I would have
Edge and Styles only a 3.7.
That's insanity.
Not even a 4. Couldn't even get the 4.
that thing was clearly a 4.2.
Yeah.
Because what ruined it,
yeah,
in a sense, it didn't ruin it, but what ruined it to me from going any higher was the fact that AJ kind of just got distracted by seeing.
Right, yeah.
Damian Priest there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the interest alone almost would have given it a 5 for me.
Oh, yeah.
New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge, he gave 0.25. It shouldn't have been rated.
I wouldn't even have rated it.
It was a squisher.
I would have just canceled the match.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was rough.
For both teams, that's embarrassing.
McAfee and Theory was a 3.75.
It was really good.
It was a good night.
Oh, yeah.
McAfee and McMahon was a -2.
Yeah, I agree. Because I just don't understand.
-2?
Yeah, -2 stars.
I give him a 1.
I give him a 0.
I give him a 1 just because the old man actually got up and did a few things. I give him a 1.
This is the one I disagree with wholeheartedly, but I seem to be the only person in America who understands two things: A, injuries, and B, what else could they have done? Brock and Lesnar was a 3.25.
I'm giving it a 3.75.
To me, it was 4. But again, America, everyone gives me shit. But it's like, number one, he got hurt. Clearly, he's okay because they haven't talked anything about it.
Right.
And 2, folks, was it a little rushed? Maybe. But it was rushed compared to everything else. They got everything in.
In the fact,
by the way, I just want to point out,
Brock was wearing taped ribs apparently when he got off the plane in Canada.
Yep. I also want to make this very clear. I am done with, and I want it removed backstage. Put it up, big fucking banner, even for Brock. I don't want the Kimura lock in wrestling anymore. It is designed to do one thing, and that's rip your shoulder apart. It doesn't do anything else. It's impossible to fake the move without actually doing something wrong. I want the move banned. I don't care what anyone says. I want it banned in all wrestling because it is a move that I have nothing against it in actual martial arts. But if you are unless somebody's actually hurt and they're going to go away for a while, this is not a move you need in wrestling because it's designed to do one thing, and that's actually tear your shoulder apart. That's all it does, and I want it.
And the biggest problem with...
I want it gone.
I've always said the biggest problem with Brock using it is, as great as Brock is...
He's so strong.
He's so goddamn powerful. And yeah, a guy like Roman can take it. Triple H took it very well.
Yeah.
But these guys are big too, so...
Yeah.
The whole hope is Brock understands to be looser on it.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree. But the problem is Vince really going to tell him not to do it? Go ahead, Leroy.
Well, and Brock after the match too was signaling without giving too much away to Roman, going with his hand saying, "Hey, you okay?"
Yeah.
You know, and I loved that, you know, because I didn't read it, and then I saw it close. I'm like, oh, good. He's like, dude, you had a good match. Are you okay?
I still want it
and
gone.
they did. They're
sorry.
okay. But I totally understand.
Because sometimes even
Ronda
uses a version of it that's clearly not the full Kimura.
Yes, exactly.
Which is probably what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Because, and to give her credit, she also understands don't fully lock that thing in, you know.
Yeah.
Let them bring the elbow up so there's still flexibility.
Yeah.
It just looks really bad.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
But when I do it to somebody, I'm really going to lock in and I'm going to rip their arm off.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's designed to do.
What I don't understand again, what the fuck is wrong with Charlotte Flair? I give this woman praise.
You do?
You know, I was at a point where I was kind of just sick of the Charlotte matches because I was just like, you know, let's just put the title back on her because this is getting obnoxious now to me. And then this is now the second time on a major pay-per-view you try to just straight shoot fight someone. And then you try to straight shoot fight that person?
Yeah. I hate to be that guy, Jesse. It's getting to a point where if WWE were to get rid of her, they'd almost be justified. I hate to say it.
They're not going to do it?
No.
But it's one of those things, if they took the title off her and she was gone for 5 months, as a, just go home for a little bit, I would get it. Because it's just like, what are you doing?
How do you not have chemistry?
So apparently backstage...
How do you not have chemistry with Becky Lynch, number one?
It's not that there wasn't chemistry at Survivor Series. They straight up got into a street fight because that's what Charlotte drug her down into.
Yeah.
And so they just let them go.
Because if you watch the match, Becky was trying to be as professional as possible. Becky Lynch understands one thing, and I've learned this through the years of watching her. She gets... You don't bring the personal shit into the ring. She gets that.
Well, Charlotte did it anyway.
I
don't fucking get it. Just go have a great match.
Yeah, just do it.
Well, I don't. At this point, I don't care what Ronda did. I know people can't let it go that she kind of broke some code when she did that stupid little video. But you know what? That was 3 years ago or 2 years ago now. Let that shit go. She's clearly recommitted herself to this.
Yeah.
Like she was clearly trying to just come and have a great match with you. That is the wrong person to piss off in a ring because she can barely hold her fucking emotions as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if she snaps your shit up, WWE's not going to fire her, but you put them in a situation where you're like, we might have to suspend her.
Yeah.
But then she can legally go like, well, she thought she could shoot fight me. Well, now they got to suspend you. Don't try to shoot fight. And that's for any wrestler that gets into WWE and thinks you can just shoot fight on Ronda. She can kill you.
Yes. Ronda Rousey is a bronze medalist in judo.
The two people you don't do that. Her and Shayna Baszler. Don't do that.
They know not to do it to Shayna.
Well, it's weird, too.
They know not to do it to Shayna.
For some reason, because Shayna's personality is, like, I'll love you, but I'll snap your shit out.
Well, she has that look, you know. You love her, and then she gives you that look. You go, oh, my God, she's going to rip my spleen out.
Charlotte,
she's going to terminate my ass right here. I'm
gotta be a professional.
Yep.
Like, cause I watched that match again. I'm like, I'm so happy that Ronda did not lose her cool.
Yeah, Ronda.
Because if Ronda loses her cool, she snaps whatever fucking bone she wants.
Oh yeah. And by the way, she will feed it to that 6-month-old.
Yes, she will.
There we go.
She will feed it to that.
But yeah, no, I do think Raw was okay. SmackDown was better this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little disappointed that not too many people were
but here's the
brought
thing.
up, but
much like Alexa, it's people are trying to get their own. I'm in this boat. I'll be the first person to admit it. COVID fucked up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Everyone's trying to fit things in a lot right now. They're trying to enjoy their life. I have a busy summer coming up. I didn't tell Jessie this, but I told you, Leroy, I'll be gone for a show in the summer because I got to watch Jim Cott get his number retired by the Minnesota Twins. I'm sorry. I have to. The man finally got his Hall of Fame call. Tony Oliva deserved that a long-ass time ago.
Don't worry. Go do your thing.
Fuck you, Baseball Writers of America. But anyway.
Right.
But no, here's the deal. People were trying to fit shit in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be one of those people that was like, I'm going to have a shotgun wedding during COVID. No offense to you people if you did, but that's not my style. Wasn't about to do it. I want it to be a fun time. Want it to be a good time.
Right.
I don't want it to just happen for the sake of having it happen. Okay, that's not how this shit works for me.
No, I did understand some people who were paying for their weddings who decided to do that in smaller doses because it was just cheaper.
Yeah,
just a little private thing, and you just
weddings are expensive.
But anyway,
video chat your thank you in.
Yeah,
there you go.
But that's the thing. A lot of wrestlers, they're giving them some time to breathe.
Right.
They're giving them. For once, WWE's letting people relax, and now you're pissed off. You can't please a wrestling audience. Apparently, you just can't.
You really can't, unfortunately.
Because folks, Alexa Bliss, she's been planning this shit for 2 years. First of all,
I did want to say this.
First of all, they have no plans for Alexa Bliss. Who the hell?
Of course, they have plans for Alexa Bliss.
They have plans. It just is not the right time for it.
And by the way, she clearly got the time approved.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I do want to say this about Raw though this week.
Yeah.
Here was the big downer, the biggest downer.
Okay.
We're really gonna reunite we're gonna unify the tag team titles again, probably.
Yeah.
And that's disappointing.
I know.
Because Raw's tag team division is getting really good.
Yeah.
It's like and from that I'm guessing, I believe we don't need to do that.
No, but they're going to do it.
Oh, and by the way, I
why?
I had someone message
because then both networks will be happy having the top people on both shows.
Yeah.
It's too bad for
they're going into the pleasing mode of the networks right now. Which,
and I got a feeling the only thing that will be semi-exclusive is like the Intercontinental and
the U.S. title. Yeah.
But
I will
which
say
is
this,
nice.
You know, but I will say this for those because I had someone personally message me about this. They were like, "Well, you gave shit to Kenny for his bus interview, and we waited all that SmackDown all week just for Roman to say." First of all, Roman didn't. It's not like Roman gave the same fucking interview the next week because Roman's not going to give the same interview on SmackDown.
Oh, well, here's the thing. So to that person, you're trying to compare apples and cars. That's not how this works. No. Okay? Yeah. That dude gave the same promo for 3 weeks, and it was a tape promo, clearly.
It was really
all
bad.
Roman did, which it was wrong to do, by the way.
No, yeah.
But you had Roman. You keep hyping Roman's next move. You know, because then you think, all right, who's the next challenger? Who's the next guy? Is Cody going to come out? Is it gonna be Seth?
Yeah.
You know, like, and then it just go. You got to watch SmackDown and know what I'm going to do. It was a little like, fuck you too, WWE. I understand why people were upset at that, but to be fair, he did announce what he was planning to do.
Yeah, but here's the deal: if Roman does the same shit for 3 weeks, okay, you got me.
Right.
But first of all, it's not going to be pre-taped, and second of all, I don't have to go to a different show in a different company and bury them to do it.
Right. Yeah, you're comparing apples and buses.
Not to mention that, guys, Roman. This is the part
I can't chew a bus yet. I've been trying to find the serum that makes you the Incredible Hulk, so I can chew a bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But I can chew an apple, and I can tell you that apple was fucking rotten.
Yeah.
Yes.
But my point is this. Everyone's like, well, Roman just sat there. Roman has not been that physical this entire run. Where have you been for 846 days?
Here's the thing.
Where the fuck have you people been?
Just like Seth said, though, when we were both on SmackDown, it was nice because then anytime we actually wrestled, it felt special that we wrestled. And that's the whole thing of getting, like, you know, if Raw's 2 hours, it feels – that's why, you know, I understand Seth, and I mean, I've been saying it on the show since you guys have had me on.
But we all agree with it. That's the thing.
If you're going to have a 3-hour Raw, even if you're not going to have the main event guys wrestle all the time, at least allow the other people to go on and put out excellent wrestling matches then.
Yeah.
But you got to make this shit more entertaining for 3 hours.
because in my opinion, AEW gives everyone 20 minutes, and that's the problem.
Technically, but WWE, they give them like 10 besides the main event.
Right, but WWE has the opportunity to put on an AEW style show in the middle, and no one's gonna fucking care.
No, they're not.
First hour, hype the third hour. Middle hour, just make sure it's consistent, not schizophrenic booking, and you'll be fine.
Right.
In my opinion, and crazy idea, let Funky Love do their shit. Just give Petey Williams the fucking second hour. For 6 months, just give Petey the second hour. Say, here's who you're going to work with. Once in a while, you have to kind of throw in some main event shit, but go work the second hour.
Like I said, Paul figured it out during the pandemic, which was difficult to do, which was, I'll build all these talents.
Yeah.
We'll let them actually go out and put on matches.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people were like, dude, I actually liked watching Raw during the pandemic because they were just kind of going out. They were having these stories. They were putting on good matches. Seth didn't wrestle every week.
No.
Brock, of course, still wasn't there all the time.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was fun. Like, it was fun to watch. You were like, hey, dude, I can't wait to watch Pandemic Raw. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then when they took it away from Paul, you're like, there's this bullshit again.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's how do you use the 3 hours? How do you use the 2 hours?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and like I said, sometimes SmackDown is a bit miss.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
But most of the time, SmackDown is very, very good with the 2 hours.
Yeah.
So as far as the returns are concerned, love the Lacey Evans one.
So did Allison. Just get that out of the way.
Yeah,
so did Allison.
For obvious reasons.
Many reasons.
But I thought the promo was really good. By the way, she's actually done this before in NXT.
You were also wondering how they were going to bring her back, and basically what you're telling us is they're basically just going to give her the old NXT idea.
Yeah, I think so. That's what it's like, a hybrid of that.
Yeah.
It'll get her over as a babyface.
I didn't mind the Southern Belle, but they had to change it up and do something.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
do enjoy this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are nothing in America if not homers. You want to get someone over, bring up their ability to be in the military.
Right.
And the fact she's a mother and the fact she's a woman. Folks, you hit a home run on all three.
Oh, yeah.
Babyface superstar right there.
Yep.
I really, it sounds like we're getting 3 more of those, so she won't debut until after WrestleMania Backlash, it sounds like.
Right. And what I've also noticed is that I think, and again, I don't know, I have no sources, I think she's not putting the family on hold for a little bit, but I think she's more committed to having a bit longer of a run this time.
Oh, probably.
So I don't think that more family stuff is in her future. I think she's committed back to this a little bit.
What the backstage stories sound like is that when she originally got pregnant, the plan for her and her husband, like I said, this is backstage rumors.
Right? Yeah.
was that they were going to do this after she had the feud with Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because then she could have took the time off. Her and
Yeah.
her husband, try to have the baby. Like Ronda Whitten did.
Yeah.
And then she would come back.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes...
Oops.
Baby making don't happen that way, as Papa here knows.
Oops. Oops.
Yep.
Sometimes things happen a little quicker than you were.
Some slid out and shit happens.
But
you go.
You get some beautiful children.
Yep.
All right.
And so that's kind of what happened.
Yep.
Rumor-wise.
Yep.
But listen, she's going to be committed,
Yep.
which I'm not even worried about with her.
No, not at all.
And I'm really excited to see this character.
Yeah.
Seeing Rachel... You know what? I'm just gonna say seeing Rena, her actual name.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of tired of the fucking name changes anyway.
Yeah.
Seeing her get called up excites me for the SmackDown side.
Yeah.
Because now that adds more of another big hitter.
Yes.
That way, like if Ronda doesn't win the title, well, that's someone she could feud with for 4 to 5 months right there.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Exactly.
So, and then, what was the other call up? I already talked about Ezekiel. I'm done with that.
Her actual, by the way,
Gunther?
Raquel's thing with Los Lotharios too. That was funny. As
That
shit.
was funny.
That was some funny shit.
She could literally crush those two dudes.
Oh,
and then, so Gunther and here's what I don't understand.
Ludwig.
Ludwig.
So they basically are telling Fabian Eichner that they don't think he's ready yet. He's a smaller Cesaro.
Or are they maybe going with a fucking Carmella idea with Enzo and Cass? Maybe they think that Fabian Eichner can just do something else.
Maybe.
Because remember, Carmella did become the bigger star, mostly because those two were idiots at the time.
I was going to say, they made a lot of bad decisions.
But maybe if he is a Cesaro, maybe they see it as a situation where maybe Fabian Eichner can be the breakout guy of the Imperium tag team.
I don't disagree.
But Gunther still needs the, not heavy, because Gunther is the heavy.
But I can tell you this. Fabian's not a good speaker.
No.
Martel is.
Yes.
That's why that tag team worked.
But that's why they brought Martel to the main roster.
But I think the
Marcel.
Thing, but here's the thing: Gunther can speak on his own.
True.
Yeah.
So like I said,
but Jesse,
I'm gonna give it a chance.
Right, but Jesse,
you don't have to argue that point
no.
with me, but
Jesse, I mean,
I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, but let's go back to arguably one of the greatest rap groups of all time, Public Enemy. Chucky D didn't need a hype man, but it made Public Enemy Public Enemy.
Well, yeah.
Flavor Flav made Public Enemy what Public Enemy was to become, but Chucky D could still rap just fine without Flavor Flav. So, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to reach the heights that Public Enemy did. One of the most important rap groups of all time and one of my favorites, but holy smokes.
Well,
this is just clearly not Imperium anymore.
Yeah.
No, I do how they both come up, and the one he has a little German flag on him, and then Gunther has
the red was an interesting touch, by the way.
I didn't like that much.
Yeah,
but.
And I think it was Gunther has the Austrian flag on his. I thought that's good,
but it's one of those things
to bring them old school style
folks,
up.
Folks, I've been wanting this guy on main roster for a while. You have no choice but to give it a chance because he is the most dominant heavyweight in Europe of this century.
And like I told people, I'm going to give them the fair due on because they basically booked him in a fucking Walter-like match anyway to start. So
yeah.
Do you think that's what's going to be a little while? Is going to be some squash matches?
Well, that's
with
what
people
Vince
for
always does with guys like Gunther is he's going to turn around and he's going to just say, hey, find me a local kid. I'd be the guy like, how much am I going to get paid to get in the ring with that guy? How much? Because I'm going to need some for some ice pads at the end of it.
You never know. They'll probably give you like $2,000 to show up, get your ass whooped real quick.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
I'd do that.
Yeah, here's the deal. One shot.
I'll be fair though.
One shot from Gunther, that is $100 of an ice pack.
I was about to say that guy took. I hope he got paid $5,000 because he took an ass whooping.
He took a whooping.
Oh my God! Yes, he did. That was killer.
So yeah, I'm actually super excited, but now we have to get to some stuff that both excited me and didn't excite me.
Did you hear rumor LA Knight might be coming up too?
Oh, he'll be up. There's no doubt about that.
But did you see? There is not confirmed, but a bit as a manager.
Yeah,
that was a rumor as a manager.
That idea I hate.
I don't like that idea.
I hate it, but here's the thing. I think Knight, unlike the person we're going to talk about here in a second, is at least going to make sure Vince knows he can talk, and then the physicality will just come.
Well, he knows he can talk.
Because it's
It
professional.
looks like
wrestling.
$1 million.
But we'll see. You know, some of her favorite people did not come back. Not yet.
Well, but Jesse even said Asuka was only clear like a month before Mania.
I'll get my wife.
And then Bailey. We'll get Bailey back. I'm so happy to get both.
I will get my wife back.
As long as Bailey keeps taking photos like that, Jesse's happy. Jesse don't need much.
Santa Claus says, I can't wait for you to come back, Bailey.
Oh.
That's sit on my lap reference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but now we got to get to this. Jesse, I watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I see future stars. I see a presentation. I see Vince, arguably, in my opinion, getting a little more lax on some things.
Yeah.
And then I think to myself, are you sure you don't want to cut your hair and come back? Because, Jesse, it's the most untalked about story on WrestleMania weekend. What would Cole have been doing on WrestleMania weekend if he had just given this a chance?
Wrestling.
And
Wrestling somebody. He's too good
Definitely
to not
would've.
be at WrestleMania.
Here's the other thing. It was reported they offered you a 7-figure deal.
Right.
If anything, it was a top-notch 6-figure deal. Vince don't pay that kind of money to talent unless they're going to do... Like I said, Cody's getting paid too much to just be on main event against Jinder as Stardust in a couple of weeks.
Right.
He's getting paid too much money for that. But, Jesse...
That dude will be having main event matches for months and months to come.
And you know what's weird?
yes.
I think
on Raw, I mean.
You know what's weird? I think it was the presentation of it, and it was the fact that WWE says, no, you don't need anyone else. He kind of did a somewhat similar Cody Rhodes promo to AEW, but I fell for it this time. It also wasn't as poorly put together.
I'll tell you 2 reasons why. Number one, well, the reason to let him just come back as him, the American Nightmare that he is.
The music was big too. Okay, the reason I popped at WrestleMania was I didn't think the music would be the same.
Well, well, what did I tell you though? I'm like, they're gonna let him come back as himself.
Oh yes,
because he's made himself a superstar.
Yeah.
So he was one of those that was going to get that chance to come back and just be him.
Do you think the delusion came from he just didn't
Adam
know what
Cole
the
would
fuck
have
he's
been
doing
a superstar.
Yeah.
Here, guys, if you want to know the real reason I think Cody Rhodes left, it's very simple. You took power away from the man that actually helped to get the company started.
And he knew that.
And he knew it.
Yep.
He was like, well, what am I going to fucking do here?
The delusion that Cody Rhodes was under was snapped the second Tony Khan said, you're no longer an EVP.
When the billionaire said, I have all the power now, that was it.
And yeah.
And then at that point, he's like, well, if that's all I'm doing, then I could just go make the same amount of money and just wrestle.
Well, not to mention
back
the fact
in WWE.
I'd be making more.
Well, not to mention that once he lost power, Jesse.
Apparently, he's making the same amount, which is about $3 to $4 million.
Yeah. But Jesse, here's the deal. Once he lost power, all he had left was the power because the booking goes towards Elite. The booking goes the Elite way no matter what. Every result is what the Bucks would probably do.
Yeah.
And that's my whole thing is that, Cole, you just watched them actually make us all believe with the Jedi mind tricks that this was one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. Mm-hmm. We actually all think that. They did it. Vince, with almost no hype, we weren't as into it as we normally would. Right. I said on the show I did, but it was the week leading up to it. But, the month leading up to it, I was like, oh, right, that's WrestleMania. But Vince did it again because, by the way, not as many negative tweets during WrestleMania as people thought there were going to be. No. People were into it, and that's all Vince cares, that you're into it then. He doesn't care what happens afterwards or before it. But all that, you grew up, you loved it, you watched it, your idols were literally your fucking bosses. And I get it. You love your gal. You already worked together separately. You could have figured it out. But this was over your Twitch channel, which, by the way, Vince just gave back to everybody.
He really did.
This was over your hair. By now, you would have had half that back.
You would have had it all back.
It's not like he had your hair, Jesse, where if you shaved your head, you would have it quite the while to get that back. Adam Cole did not have that long hair.
Mostly gray as well.
Yeah. But that's just it. But that's just it. Everything.
I understand.
Jesse, everything that Cole wanted, everyone else is kind of getting now.
Yeah.
Like, folks, Cesaro didn't leave because they weren't planning anything. He left over a money situation, which I'm fine with. But they clearly...
That's pure negotiation, and he said, well, you can't come to the table with the right deal. I'm gone.
But my my point is this. Cesaro didn't leave because they just didn't have anything.
Right.
He left over money. That's not creative. That's money. Adam, you had money. You were going to get creative.
Yep.
Why are you in AEW stealing a belt and bringing it out of a box? That happened, by the way.
Oh, I know.
I heard he stole. What belt did he?
He stole the world title.
He stole the world title.
And he had it in the box.
And it came out, and it wasn't over, because everything comes out of box is over. But by the way. Also, Tony has taken one of Jesse's favorite all-time tag teams, and now they're just a bunch of fucking pickpocketers too. It's like, you think Butch looks like a bad pickpocketer from England? He's not actually pickpocketing. He's beating the fuck out of people. The other guys are pickpocketing the champions, and then they get their asses kicked because apparently Adam Page just keeps looking worse by the day. I don't know what the hell keeps going on down there, but Adam Page goes in the ring. He's not smart enough to realize it's 3-on-1. He just jumps in. First of all, you're not John Cena. John Cena always jumping in the ring. That was the character. That was 15 years of the same shit. Adam Page, you're supposed to be the smart guy. Wait for the fucking babyface tag team and Christian to outnumber you. This segment made no sense. What was this?
Garbage.
Dave, only AEW could turn Redragon into clowns.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Redragon are clowns now.
And they're losing to a dinosaur.
They're going to lose this week.
Oh, by the way, to that person on the internet, because I have to address this, I'm supposed to be excited about Jungle Boy. Explain to me why, where, how I'm supposed to be excited about Jungle.
He's getting better at promos. I think he's an excellent in-ring wrestler.
No. Look, it's already on document of what I've said about his in-ring work. But as an overall talent that they don't want to build, clearly, he's learning from Christian Cage. He ain't learning from anyone else.
Right.
But
that's just good.
Because Christian's always been a good promo.
Whoa, yeah.
I've never hated Christian's promos. But, Jesse, I'm supposed to be excited that this is a future guy? He's in a tag team with a dinosaur. He's beating up arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time on the indies. And this is where he's stuck. And, by the way, like I told this person on the internet, you think Kenny made him that night? Yeah. What match were you watching?
I mean, he I don't know how you make someone and then go right back into the tag division.
And they weren't even in the tag division for a while. They were just hanging out on the edge of it.
Like, usually if you're a made person, you would be doing singles matches and winning all the time. And no. He went right back to the tag division. Which is
probably what, oddly enough, Wheeler Yuta's probably going to start doing.
Sent his pretty ass right back to the tag division.
Yep.
Where his girl can't even get time now anymore. It's crazy.
No, but they keep trying to convince me the Dark Order is worth putting on not just one, but two, and sometimes 3 segments. Jesse, you understood this whole faction before they came in.
That was one of the coolest factions that does nothing now.
And I think it's time, Jesse, for us to finish up our AEW. You're excited about Minoru versus Samoa Joe.
Well, how could you not be?
But here's the deal. Are they going to do something stupid? Is Tony going to get involved in some way, or is he just going to let these two work?
It'll be like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say this. It's one of those things where either you let them be the main event, or you...
Stop. Go put shoes on.
Yeah, you don't want to cut your feet. So,
put that in the garbage.
And then,
yeah.
And as long as you let them be the main event, then they're gonna make a banger.
Yeah.
If you get yourself involved,
you can't follow this with anything though. That's the problem. No one, Jesse. They're gonna wear the crowd out. They are.
Well, yeah.
They're gonna wear them out.
Yeah. By the way, I find it interesting. You get Minoru a second time. You can't fuck this time up.
Well, Jesse, I think he learned from the last time. Because remember, first time with the music, cut it off. You were more than angry. You were something. But then the second time he comes out, they let the song go.
Yeah.
Still had a bad match, but they let the song go. And now the second time he comes in, he puts a beat down on a poor guy who we like, but you ain't beating up that boy. You ain't beating up that man.
he checked into that wasn't the SmackDown hotel. That was the Suicide by Minoru hotel. And
just getting in the ring is considered a form of suicide.
Got a 10-star ass whooping.
Yeah.
Of the immortal kind. It was so special, that ass whooping. It was so...
It's an ass whooping you can put on your resume.
I think Disney would make a Hollywood film out of that ass whooping. Like, and it would make $200 million somehow.
Yeah, right.
It was a special kind of ass. I haven't seen him whoop someone's ass like that since Kenny first came in. And they had Kenny, the Terminator, go against Minoru.
Did your boy from DDT, was he on AEW this week?
Oh, shit.
Let me look that up.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Or young Minoru against Tanahashi, and then he injures Tanahashi's leg, and then the beating he starts to physically put on Tanahashi. You were just hoping they threw in the towel.
Suzuki has gone into business for himself more than anybody, but no one backstage is about to say anything.
Man, that dude. That's why he legitimately scares people, because you're like, he might legitimately just.
Well, people forget. He's one of the original 5 MMA guys.
Yeah, he is.
Legit MMA guys. Yeah.
So, all that dude has ever known in his life was fighting.
So Joe beat Caster. Hikaru, I think, beat Julia Hart, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hardys versus Butcher and the Blade. Boy, you want to talk about wasting the Hardys after a month.
Didn't even take a month.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
You want to talk about wasting the Hardys on a tables match? They're not even tables guys. That was the Dudley's shit. They're the ladder guys.
That's crazy.
Does no one remember the build? The chairs were Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
The tables were the Dudleys.
Yep.
And the Hardys were the fucking ladder guys.
Dude.
The Butcher and the Blade. Look, nothing against your band, bro, but, like, you ain't the Butcher and the Blade.
Bro, I have never... That's why the overlove to AEW, the smart love, sickens me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know how more anti-WWE you have to be.
To tell me that was a great booking.
Right.
To tell me this is good booking of the Hardys.
Like, we're 3 weeks in and this is all they're doing? Bro, I got nothing, man. I got nothing. And then the moment they lose to the fucking Bucks, they might as well just retire.
Yeah.
Because then it's over. Good job.
Yeah.
I get Jeff being mad at WWE. He has every fucking right to be.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's why I would have taken my suspension, and then I would have been like, now you're going to pay me everything in a bonus.
Yep.
And I want my brother back before I come back.
Yeah.
I would have made them come to every wish and demand that I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Because the greener pastures, right?
Yeah.
Greener pastures.
Yeah. All right. I can't seem to find because Rampage, because that was it. Besides Cage and Cole, which again didn't need to happen, but nothing against those two at that point. And then again, great tag match. Not going to fault that. FTR was leading. We we knew that. 100%.
But that still was an excellent tag team match.
But I'm looking here at Rampage and I don't see who was the DDT guy that they put on.
I can't even remember. I literally can't remember.
Okay, well, anyway.
Maybe people were thinking about Wheeler Yuta.
Okay, well, he was in DDT for some time,
for a short time, yeah.
What did he do in DDT?
I think it was basically like a small excursion. Did a couple of small events and stuff with them. But, he's more of a technical guy. So, he was never going to be kind of long-term DDT. But speaking of guys who took an ass whooping to become a superstar, I mean, that guy took an absolute ass whooping to become a superstar.
You want to get made.
Oh, he got made. As The Undertaker used to say as the American Badass, John Moxley made him famous.
Yep. Made him famous.
He gave as much as he got. And to be fair, though, he's always yes, they've made a star out of him. But I don't want to give Tony all the credit in the world.
No, because look who did it. The three guys that did it.
The three guys that did it are three guys.
Well, but Jesse, before we get into your top 5 worst booked, because it's time to finally get that done, let's make something very clear. Tony, this is the problem you've had since day one. You think all these guys that the Bucks told you to pay were already over, so you think you've built people. Right. You think Kenny Omega built guys. No. Stars build underneath talent.
Right.
These were 3 of the most respected guys in the business. One guy's one of the best brawlers in any company ever.
Right.
Look, I may not like 100% of what John's done since he left, but he's a brawler, and I'm not taking that from him.
Right.
Then you've got Daniel, who is the greatest technical wrestler of all time. It's pretty much bar none.
Yeah.
How do you argue against it?
Only thing that argues against it is a gunshot to the head.
Yeah. And then you've got a guy, he's forgotten more wrestling than most of us could ever learn. In William Regal,
we don't even have Triple H without William Regal.
Exactly, but that's my point, Jesse. They built a star because they had superstars doing it.
Right.
Tony believed in the Bucks that all these guys were over. So when the best friends were losing to people, they're like, "Well, you just beat the best friends." Okay, if they beat the real Chuck E. T. and the real Trent Beretta, maybe not the version you give me.
The AEW version of these two guys is a joke.
And we transition from that into Jesse, your top 5 worst booked acts in AEW. Because remember, folks, I gave my worst acts overall. Jesse is going to, we're going to clarify his list. Jesse, I'm going to, okay, this week.
I got to finish chewing real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah. This week, do you want me to just throw names at you, or do you have your 5?
Oh, I got 5.
You got 5. Okay. So Jesse's going to clarify. Guys who were over before they got there with the indie crowd and have just been absolutely shit on since they got there. Your top 5 were, and by the way, Jesse said one of his favorite groups 3 years ago on the indies were the Dark Order. And we don't know where they are anymore.
They do not take the top 5, but they are the first honorable mention.
Okay.
Dark Order.
Dark Order. All right. That's a good one.
You know, when you first brought them in, you fucked them up. Because you had them in this weird, S&M gimmick, which made no sense.
So okay.
That's not who they were.
Okay, so what were they before national television?
They were the cult.
Yeah.
They were the cult that believed in... Basically, they were the Americanized version of Imperium.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Ring is sacred. It's all about the ring. And Stu will fuck you up.
Because Stu can do that. And the fact that Evil Uno really, for his size, is a guy that really compares to Kevin Owens in the ring. He's actually very, very good. Yeah, okay, yeah. See, that's the thing. I feel like I get a lot of crap for giving these guys hate, but I'm giving them hate for their AEW careers. I don't necessarily want to sit there and shit on what they did before that, because like I said, these guys were over, but not to the level that Tony was convinced, because if Tony had any actual real people in wrestling come advise him, he wouldn't have paid half these guys what they're getting paid. No.
So,
because by the way, folks, the Dark Order apparently still have, I think, renewed contracts now.
I don't know.
What are their contracts?
Actually, I haven't even searched up their contract situation, but
they should really.
You brought them in. You wasted my time.
So they were basically an Americanized sacred version of Imperium on the Indies.
And then
so masks
with the darker edge.
Okay, masks, yes or no?
Because the mask, yes.
Okay.
So the mask, because the masks were the way of earning respect.
Okay.
So when they finally got Guy Wrestler, so when they got Brody Lee,
where were they based out of before they got to AEW? By the way, were they Southern California?
No, I think they're Texas.
They were Texas.
I think they were Texas.
All right.
I would have to double check it. They've been in the game a long time, so I sometimes I don't remember these things very well.
Okay, yeah.
So it's either Texas or it's Middle California.
Okay,
but not Southern Cal.
So they weren't from Rancho Cucamonga.
Fuck no, thank God no. You got Brody Lee. That was the peak of their power.
Yes.
Because that's when they kind of recruited all these people.
Yeah.
You started to build all these people. And Brody Lee kind of gave them that, this guy can be world champion leader type.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why when Bray was originally cut, that's why people were putting the idea into the world, because it was just like, well, listen, thinking of a cult leader like Bray, this could work wonders for that group.
Now, based on what they originally were, would Matt have been a good fit? Would Broken Matt Hardy have made sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Broken Matt Hardy was also about winning. People forget that there was a lot of goofiness to the character, but he was also about winning, which is why he attacked his brother again and made him Willow. But he was about winning. So yeah, the Dark Order is the first
honorable mention.
The second honorable mention is Jay Lethal. Boy, that only took a month. You get Jay Lethal, one of the best wrestlers to never sign with WWE.
He might be the best currently.
Yeah, I think AJ Styles still takes that. Well, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. To never sign, because AJ actually did sign.
Yeah.
Smartly. When he probably could have actually had another year of a run in New Japan, by the way.
Yeah.
And just was like, fuck it. They're offering me the money now. I might as well go.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what we do with him. He gets beat on regular television like any other wrestler. This guy is a future Hall of Famer in this game.
Yeah.
And this is how we treat Jay Lethal. Okay.
You had to buy another company to make Jay anywhere near anything.
Like it, there's no words. All right, number 5.
All right.
Andrade El Idolo. Is the grass greener on the other side, my friend? You should be a world champion by now.
I think Vince would have given it to him.
Eventually.
As a matter of fact.
Quick question. When the crowds came back to WWE, do you think that would have been where Vince had gotten it?
Yes.
Because NXT crowds were with him.
Here was the thing, even before the pandemic, he was getting Intercontinental Championship matches.
He was, yeah.
So Vince saw a lot in him.
Yeah.
They all saw a lot in him.
Yeah.
But understandable. You're going to get married to Charlotte Flair. If you made it clear that you don't want to be there anymore, she's made it clear that they are not to like hold on to you like that if they're not going to work,
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're not going to lose her.
No.
So
she would almost be, and I'm not going to give her this kind of heat.
Okay.
She would almost be a Tessa Blanchard type signing for AEW. Whereas she would walk in with not Tessa Blanchard heat, but that type of
the problem
attitude.
Is she
no.
She automatically makes that shit so legit that
true.
Anybody challenging her that's not maybe Jay Cargill doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that as soon as she walks in, the fact that Britt Baker's in the same ring as her, you'd be like, oh, now I get the criticisms.
Yeah.
I was looking up Dark Order. Shakira, Independent, Pro,
Yep.
PWG, and ROH.
So East Coast,
Yeah.
West Coast. Yeah, because I actually think Uno's from Philly.
Okay.
They're Super Smash Brothers and Triforces, where some of the members were part of.
Yeah. So
they were the Super Smash Brothers in Chikara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to who was I just thought? Oh, Andrade El Idolo.
Yeah.
So you get the HFO now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the only thing you do with the story? Okay. So he's Ric Flair without being a world champion. So he's, an upper mid-carder.
He's also had...
Wait a minute. Isn't that what he was in WWE? Yeah.
He's also had... Well, at least WWE kept him with the same manager for more than 2 weeks. Oh, by the way, I guess Tony finally had to call Chavo back because Chavo was on ROH with Bandito, and that I've never seen in my life. I know we should talk about this when we talk about Supercard of Honor, but I've never in my life seen a wrestler who was supposed to be the bad guy kick out his own manager.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming.
That's because it's Tony. Tony, you know what you should have done for at least this show? Gotten out of everybody else's way.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what they were doing. Especially this match, which thanks to you, lost all the hype it should have had at the final Battle pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, you think Chavo should just text Vince and be like, dude, it can't be any worse than the last 2 things I've done for this idiot?
Well, at least you would get a Legends contract.
Yeah. Holy shit. But no, you said on the show, Andrade pretty much, I don't want to say owned, but could have had more pull in Mexico than damn near anybody.
That's what I was going to get to before I moved on. They literally did not let you beat Kenny Omega for the championship that you clearly should have won in your own home country.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep. Shows how much they think of you.
Number 4.
All right.
It's fucking insane. Ruby Soho.
Yep.
God,
I totally agree with that.
22-4 as of this past week. But where have all 4 losses come?
On TV.
In title matches on national cable television.
Here's the thing.
Well, no, she doesn't have 4 title matches, but in title matches and national cable television.
Here's the thing. I understood why you left.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, she got cut, but we understood why it was worth it.
Right.
I believe I mapped out her career better in 5 minutes on the show than she
should have went to Impact.
Yep.
Should have went to Impact. This has not worked out for you.
No.
I hope the check is good because this has not worked out for you.
No.
You could have still did the indie bookings at Impact. This has not worked out for her. Didn't even take 6 months.
Didn't even take 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because Jesse, here's the deal. I lost it.
And Britt Baker isn't even a blonde.
No. I also want to point something out. I lost faith in Ruby before Jesse and even Leroy did because I said I thought the Adam Cole shot was beneath what Ruby would have done. And now you look back at that, it was almost prophetic.
Yeah.
You look back on it, Jesse, you've told me off mic many times, like, yeah, that was kind of where that whole thing went south. Like, okay, I get it. The punk rocker talking about the cheerleader, like, yada, yada. I get it, banging some dude in the back. But, Jesse, Ruby's always been so much better than that line. And now...
Not to AEW, apparently.
No. Because now you're sitting there looking at yourself like you got one of the best songs off one of the best albums of arguably one of the most important musical decades of all time.
She
that was a hell of a
is
thing.
what they thought Bobby Roode was.
Yeah.
She is just a song. They thought Bobby Roode was just a song.
And now
not understanding in NXT, the song was prophetic of a guy that Triple H saw as a main eventer.
Yeah.
But in AEW, she's literally just a song. To be honest, so is fucking the tag team champions right now. But I'll get to. They're not on the list, but yeah.
They could be.
They if they weren't tag team champions, they would be.
Yeah, because because how many years of because they've been there since night one.
Yeah,
and it took them 3 years to get anything out of that company. But anyway, back to Ruby.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So we actually have some really lovely chocolate bars here. They're coconut bars, and the coconut was like getting stuck in my tongue.
If you want to come on the show, folks, we'll have lovely treats for you.
We usually have food.
I'm going to have treats, yes.
Number 3.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Adam Cole, baby.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
I thought...
I
thought after everything you went... Because honestly, you and I have gone back and forth on it. The problem is you've been so distraught because you're like... Leroy, I'm not joking. I think somewhere in my messages, whether it's my text or my Facebook, Jesse actually sent me, out of the blue randomly, it might have been on a Thursday after he finally watched Dynamite, and he was like, fuck, you're right about Cole. I guarantee it's somewhere in there, but like... I thought maybe you'd leave him off only because you and I did go back and forth. Well, and then
also he's going to get another title shot here, but it's so prophetic. He's going to lose.
Yep. They're trying to make Adam Page by using Adam Cole.
Go ahead.
I said I have not been. I don't watch it. I just watch highlights and different that, and I feel the same way.
They can't even put together a highlight package that well. It's really weird. Even their highlight packages are a bit.
Nothing is good about everything. They can't make him look good, and it's pathetic.
Adam Cole.
It's the only thing sometimes WWE does better than any other wrestling company, is the video packages that make you go, "Oh, this hasn't been a bad build," and then you think about it, you're like. No, this has still been a shit build, but
Jesse,
that video package made it look
But they made it look good.
Jesse, all I gotta say is, puddle of mud, invasion angle.
Yeah, for real.
There you go.
They made that shit look epic. And it was bad.
It was not good.
Best video packages ever here. What the fuck?
My God.
They took a song about BDSM that fucking Puddle of Mud put together, and they were just like, I'm going to make you think this was the greatest angle ever.
If you watched week to week, you were like, this was terrible.
Ugh.
But yeah. So you're going to probably lose Adam Cole in 2 weeks.
Was there another top
Hangman Page.
Huh?
Yeah. There's another top 5.
I can't remember which it is, but go ahead and finish it up.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Okay, well, go ahead and finish it up.
So
you didn't even speak on Adam Cole yet.
That's for all of us, too.
So he's going to lose the Hangman Adam Page.
Yep.
And then where is he going to go after that? What's the next feud?
They don't have a mid.
Underneath Britt Baker?
Here's the problem. They think the TNT title is so over that anyone wins it, they're all of a sudden a top guy. It's not over enough for Adam Cole, and they don't have another mid-card title. They don't have a place for Adam Cole.
Here's the thing.
No, they don't.
The only way you can make the by the way, this was Cody's fault. The only way you make it feel like a top mid-card title is who the champion is. Because, I mean, we said this a lot about past Intercontinental champions. Sometimes it's the champion that makes the title.
Yeah.
And how they're booked and how they allow themselves to be booked. Because then they feel important, when you allow certain things. So does he just go feud hopping? That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Kissing more people on cheeks.
We'll probably get the.
To be fair, he doesn't kiss them on cheeks. The Bucks kiss him on the cheek. Yeah. To be fair,
what's gonna happen?
Which is crazy for two guys
who are so conservative,
who clearly might be a little homophobic.
Clearly might be,
but I digress.
Yeah,
maybe they're not because they are kissing a man on the cheek. But nothing wrong with that at all.
Oh, listen.
We all know.
Be gay.
And be happy.
As a matter of fact, to be fair, that's probably why I don't like me and the Bucks have never seen eye to eye. I have been the guy at PWG shows to be like, not trying to be a homophobe, but for as much as they talk about the Christianity and how they don't always agree, this is kind of gay.
It's a little gay.
It's a light gay.
And I love all my gay friends.
Yes.
Don't get me twisted.
No.
But it's just like, for as much bad stuff as you say about the gay community, kind of gay.
Yeah. A little bit.
So.
A little bit.
So Adam Cole's number 3.
Okay.
Number 2.
Before you go on, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought you would leave him off because, again, you and I did.
Yeah, I know.
You tried to bring me over. You did your best. I was the only one that actually banned the Bebe.
2 weeks ago, because that angle with the boxes was 2 weeks ago. That's when I had to give up.
Well, but we hadn't covered Dynamite since
WrestleMania.
I know.
So but I was just like, but when I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
This is pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
This is not funny. When you lose, you're gonna clearly look like a clown. This is stupid.
And it's really interesting to watch Brian Last talk about him on the Cornette Experience or on the Corny Drive-Thru. For him to really sort of now have the wool removed of Vince's Jedi mind tricks about Vince, whether or not he's booking NXT, he's producing NXT.
Right.
The production, Adam Cole is a star.
Yeah.
You watch, first of all, folks, I'm just going to say it. We're not going to talk about it right now, but I'm just going to say it. If you haven't seen Dragunov versus Strong.
Oh, you're missing great pro wrestling.
That's on you. Roddy's traveling back and forth to the UK, taping a couple of shows, coming back, still working Diamond Mine. This is why Roddy didn't fucking walk away.
Right.
Because Roddy was the 4th guy while he was in the Undisputed Era. Imagine what he'd be in whatever the hell this is.
Right.
Roddy's more over than Adam Cole. I never thought I'd see the day. I go back to when I was a fan of ROH in the old days. I go back to when I was a Bucks fan.
Yeah.
If you would have told me in less than a decade, because in a decade a lot happens in wrestling.
Right.
If you would have told me in less than a decade that Roddy Strong would ultimately be more over and having better quality matches than Adam Cole, I would have been like, you're nuts.
Right.
Nothing. I liked Roddy,
Right.
but I didn't think Roddy had it in him.
I don't disagree.
And now it's just like I'm watching. Dude, that could have been Cole and Dragunov. I'm just saying. That could have been Cole and Dragunov. Roddy's getting everything that they might have given Cole.
That might have been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
If it was the old Adam Cole, it would have been.
Well, yes, of course. Yeah.
But, yeah, so number 3 is Adam Cole, baby. Number 2.
Yeah.
Burn, down with the best friends. Both of them.
I was wondering if Chuck E. T was ever going to make a list.
Both of them are on this list.
Oh, boy.
This one I'm not happy about.
No.
I watched their growth from PWG together to their run as...
And by the way, I'll admit right here, Jesse, I apologize to you. As much crap as I've given Chuck E. T since his AEW booking, boy, the shit he pulled off in PWG was some fucking good shit.
Well, you go look at his past matches outside of AEW, you go, what are they doing with him?
Yeah.
Like, why are you letting this guy just not do anything that he's fully capable of doing? He's got to get out. He needs to let his contract expire, and so does Trent Beretta, because clearly Chris Statlander is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And their mascot, as you like to call him, is going to be just fine. He's not on my list, by the way.
He's Tony's favorite wrestler.
He's not on my list. I like Orange Cassidy, but it's the moment he's not Orange Cassidy anymore where I think his career could take the next steps. But for now, the Orange Cassidy thing gets him paid.
I'm just angry because they've actually shown me what he could do.
Right.
And now I want to see more of that more than I want to see this.
Right.
It's not that I don't think Orange Cassidy can't work because, again, I've seen Darren Corbin do it.
Right.
But but here's the problem. It takes a commitment from the other competitor to make his shit work.
Right.
But the problem is they're not giving him people that are going to work with what he does.
Right.
Because I hate to say it, Jericho didn't do it either. Because they evolved the character in the Jericho storyline, but then they went right back to the same shtick.
See, and I know your opinion of Jericho.
Go for it.
But Jericho is that type of wrestler. He is not dumb that he could have done that.
Oh, I agree.
He could have.
Jericho's just kind of a dick of a human being.
But he didn't want to, or whatever reason.
Inside, I like, yep.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Jericho, you're better than that.
All right, Jesse, back to your best friends.
I thought so too.
Yeah, fucker.
I thought he was better than that too.
He's getting old and crudgety.
He's a dickhead. But so the best friends, I
watched Trent go with Jay White, and
Trent has Edge written all over him, and no one's ever given him the chance to be. And that's besides New Japan, and that's what sucks the most, because he's got all the talent in the world. They just let those two kids walk. Well, they're not kids, but they just let Angelico and fucking Jack Evans walk because they didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
How did you not know what to do with the Hybrid 2?
Yeah.
It's two of the best technical high flyers in the game.
Here's the thing. They teased it. I don't know if they gave it to us on Dark Elevation, but how you didn't just make a best of 7 series out of Top Flight and Hybrid 2?
Oh yeah.
How the fuck that didn't just fall from the sky and tell you to do it? Right there.
You know what? I got one more dishonorable mention.
Okay.
I got one more. I forgot about this one.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I love watching Angelico on him on what's his
Angelico and
Angelico.
Jack,
well, no,
Jack
I love watching Angelico before he was on AEW. When he was
Angelico gave you one.
I'm about to shock him with the other.
For real, Angelico gave you arguably one of the best. By the way, that was one of the moments I marked out for, was when Angelico took that dive off of the Office in Lucha Underground.
Crazy.
Yeah,
because that was a legit moment.
That was crazy.
In wrestling.
Loved him in there.
One of the best moments
Very
in wrestling
much
in the past decade.
After seeing him once in there, I was like, oh my god, this guy he's awesome.
Angelico is something special, and then they just never used him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other I actually almost forgot about him because they clearly forgot about him.
Fair enough.
His contract's expiring, so that's why he's not on the list. But I said it the day they signed him, they would never know what to do with him.
Okay.
And I can't, he can't stand him, but I do see the value in him.
Okay.
The bad boy, Joey Janela.
To be fair, Jesse,
there we go.
I did tell you on Dark when you told me to watch.
Yeah.
Technically, I was seeing it from Joey.
So what you should have brought him in as is the brawler, hardcore guy that struggles to win a normal match because that's not what he does.
Yeah.
But you still have him as a heel, so he'll cheat to win. But when you get him in a hard court match, that's more his style. You let him win clean there and stuff like that.
He was supposed to go up against Phoenix, and then Phoenix got hurt.
Right.
On it wasn't even YouTube.
No.
It was a dark match.
Yeah. And
so you screwed him
and
there.
now they're just letting his shit expire. I told you the moment they signed him, I'm like, yes, he's kind of been a clown. Yes, he's kind of an idiot. But I'm like, I've always seen the value in Joey Janela. If you book him as the hardcore idiot guy, almost like an Al Snow.
Okay.
Where every now and then you can get away with him winning a mid-card title because you're just like, hey, he reached his peak. Here we go.
Yeah.
And, you know, then people could kind of get behind Joey. They've never understood that. You want to know why? Because all the Bucks saw was laughter. Joey's so funny in these matches, taking the dick shots, taking the peanuts to the dick, anything that has to do with a dick shot, right?
Yeah.
But Joey was more than that. Joey's always been more than that. He's a clown, but in a good way. He's a good wrestling clown. You need these guys.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
you
true.
need these guys in pro wrestling.
I'm still waiting for us to decide on when we're going to get your top 5 best clowns. Although we know what number 1 is.
Oh, good side of clowns.
Yeah.
The good side of clowns,
We'll do that next week.
Okay, write that down.
Okay.
Yeah,
another top 5.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, top 5 good clowns.
So, but yeah, the other dishonorable
even though we
mentions-
already know number 1.
Oh, we know number 1.
Yeah.
But
And if I get away with that, I would play that lovely song, Send in the Clowns. Copyright infringes. I cannot do that.
Somewhere.
Oh, that is totally copyrighted.
But so now to the worst book now, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, even though she's not women's champion anymore, still Britt Baker.
Fair.
Mm.
She got herself over.
She was arguably the first bad booking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you brought her
By the
in.
way, it never stopped.
Yeah.
No.
To be honest, I almost put Hikaru Shida in her place.
True.
But her second run now, especially with the Serena Deeb stuff, has been a lot better. But because I'm like, wait, Hikaru was the right person to carry you through the pandemic, but you treated her like she didn't even fucking mean anything until she had title matches, and all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, she is the women's champion.
You gave her a toy belt.
I'm not even going to talk about why they took fucking 3 years to finally update the women's title, thinking that they could get away with trying to do an NWA-style women's title.
Yeah.
Claire's belt was bigger,
I know.
and it's a toy belt.
I know.
Yeah, the new AEW Women's Championship is what it should have looked like the whole damn time.
Yeah.
It looks really good, yeah.
And maybe when they saw the TBS title next to their original one, they were probably like, I don't like that design anymore.
No.
Like, no shit, you idiots. But, yeah, it's Britt Baker. Here was the problem. The moment you set up the feud with her and Thunder Rosa, you always knew who would beat her to become champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
even with an injury, she apparently was more credible than your women's.
So when you do that, by the way, people are like long-term storytelling, and it was still good. But if I can still see what the future looks like, is it great long-term storytelling? Long-form storytelling?
Yeah.
The reason I give WWE credit still for the Brock and Roman thing is because they flipped it. When they just did this Roman Brock thing, Roman was the bad guy. Brock was the face all of a sudden. Because now, after like a year, we were like, all right, we're kind of, as some people, as you see on the internet all the time, some people are kind of ready to see Roman lose his damn championship. Brock was one of the most credible outside of Seth Rollins because he had never beaten Seth Rollins in title matches. Now, technically, he still hasn't beaten him in title matches. He escaped them.
Yeah. They
have left that way open.
Right. So
yeah.
They're going to come back to that. But everything that's happened with her, and you go find producer credits, when it has worked, it is because they have let her, and probably like Jerry Lynn and a few others, do the booking with it, do the producing on it. So she clearly knows what the hell she's doing.
Yeah.
She's clearly very good at this. And maybe working AEW allows her to still do her practice as well. And maybe that's why she decided not to go to WWE, because it would have been hard for her to do her practice because she had to do the house shows.
It's a long schedule.
Right.
Which, by the way, we'll talk about as soon as Jesse's done because some more tea was spilled.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, number one is still...
Oh, you'll find out.
Number one is still Britt Baker because now that she doesn't have the championship...
What do you do with her?
I think, well, are they doing the story with Jamie Hayter? What's going on? Because they've moved Thunder Rosa to fight Nyla Rose. Yeah. By the way, let me get this out the way. Good job, AEW. You've cultivated a fan base that consistently does transphobia against one of your best female wrestlers.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
And it keeps happening at every show.
And you don't do shit about it.
They're not that bright. Do you want me to tell you the other top 5 we had?
Before we get to that,
okay.
I do want to say this. You were supposed to be all-inclusive wrestling.
Yep.
You were supposed to be the place that let people be themselves.
Right.
You were the fans who, for the first year, were telling us, well, don't make fun of her. Mm-hmm. She's doing what she wants. And by the way, first of all, this show never once had an issue with it. I want to make that very fucking clear. Nobody at this show
love our wrestlers.
ever gave a damn as long as the locker room was cool.
Right.
But now it's sign after sign that, by the way, you're letting get in the building. Yep. You get mad at Vince for pulling signs out. That's a sign that you should.
Right.
They chant things and you don't say nothing. You can't just during a commercial break make an announcement that if you do it again, TBS is gonna pull us off of the network. Which, by the way, whether they are or not, the fans ain't gonna know shit about that.
You go out there, you kick them the fuck out. It's not that hard.
No.
Yep.
That's why you can't want everyone to love you. Sometimes you just you gotta go. We're done with this.
We might not always like Vince, but let me tell you something. We've understood why he's done what he's
done. He protects his wrestlers.
Damn Skippy.
Yes.
Like, if you go say something to a wrestler during a match, them big WWE security dudes are getting you up out of there.
Yeah.
They will physically remove you. They don't care how physical they got to get to do it because he protects his wrestlers.
Yeah.
No matter how sometimes they feel how he might treat their booking and all that, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
He protects them at all costs.
So this is another shot at Anthony in like, so you want to just smoke weed and hang out backstage with everybody. Vince McMahon is out of there as soon as the production's done. Everybody else starts pulling down because Vince McMahon's not there to make friends.
He's doing cocaine in the back.
There's no smoking weed.
There's no weed. That's not weed.
Well,
I've smoked a lot of weed in my life. I've never sniffed my nose that much while smoking weed.
Well, that's
now,
because
I don't always know.
That's because Big Swell's no longer selling to him.
That's true. That's
and
cocaine, bro.
and he's not going to be as high strung. You know, if he's smoking weed,
Oh,
I have never smoked it, but he's gonna be like, dude.
Oh, he'll be high strung with cocaine.
Oh, that yes.
Yeah.
Weed? No, he's gonna be dude. I need a burrito.
Go on my list really quick.
All right, so
I had to go off on that tangent because it's like it happened again.
All right, it's already been posted. Jesse's top 5 worst booked acts in AEW since their existence. Number 1, Britt Baker, DMD. Should be OUT, but you know.
All right.
She's a loyal one.
I mean, and like I said, I think the schedule, because it allows her to do practice. That's why she does that.
Number 2, best friends Trent ? Beretta. Thanks for that, AEW. And Chucky Taylor, who is now booked worse than the doll from Chucky. Adam, you know, my hair
would probably book a sex doll better than they book Chucky T.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Well, DDT already did. Anyway.
At least a sex doll would probably get a World Heavyweight Championship match.
Yeah.
It might be a better one.
If Kane was the champion.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Adam, my hair would have probably already grown back, and I would have been on WrestleMania Sunday. Cole.
Right.
Ruby, why did I ever do this when Impact is the #1 women's promotion in all of professional wrestling outside of Stardom? I love you, Stardom, but Impact does some shit. Soho. And Andrade, I'm married to Charlotte. That's my future legacy in wrestling. Anyway.
It really is.
And the honorable mentions, the Dark Order, Jay Lethal, and the bad boy. Joey Janela. That is Jesse's.
How you got to say it? The bad boy.
That is Jesse's top 5, and along with a couple honorable mentions, one of which he added during the rants. So now we move on.
Joey was actually already there. I just forgot.
Yeah, okay. Now, Leroy, before we get to the top 5 that we still have to do.
Yeah.
Some tea was spilled.
Uh-oh.
A young woman, 4 letters, opposite it, backwards is anal. Lana, CJ Perry.
Again?
Who is still unsigned, is still not on a wrestling deal, is still not wanted by anyone, is still not getting the no-cut clause for her contract, not anywhere Perry. CJ Perry decided that she tweeted recently, and oddly enough, a picture of her ass was included, and that was the weird part, about how happy she is to no longer be working 300 days. Oh, wow, they made you work the same amount that everybody else did. And she's so thrilled and happy that she just got to do a movie for, I think it was Paramount Plus, and she's
an extra in the movie. It's a cameo.
Yeah. Where she already looks better than she did being in WWE. Now, this is not necessarily a shot at CJ Perry. This is a shot at all of you. Folks.
Full pause for a second.
Yes.
So I read this.
I read it too.
And I want to be very, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I would never usually call a woman this.
Okay.
Hopefully the kids are upstairs. I hope your daughter does not hear this.
They aren't going to listen.
That little bitch has never worked 300 days in her fucking life. Let's be very clear. That little bitch has never worked 300 days in her life. She wasn't at most of the events most of the time. She found a way out of them. Okay? So spare me that I worked 300 days. Plus, all the time you guys got off during the pandemic, please. Okay? And then post-pandemic, all the time you got off before they finally like, oh, yeah, we already jobbed you out to Nia Jax. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And by the way, just like you said, no company wants to sign her. What does that say? Baby girl, it's hard for you to go back to being a ballerina dancer because you messed up your hip doing that.
You are the female Ryback. I just want to make that very
That's
freaking
exactly
clear.
what she is.
Oh my!
You are the female Ryback.
There you go. I agree.
Nobody wants you because nobody can make a dime. Not even our boy Dave, who's a fucking genius, could probably make money off of CJ Perry.
Not a chance.
And you know what? If he ever does book her, I just won't be at the event because I just said that. But you know what? That's my opinion.
If he did, he'd get her to be a manager because you'll get booed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she'll get booed.
But Jesse, it's another person who this is where Jim's right. It's another person who wanted a launching pad into celebrity and chose the wrestling business, and then after 3-4 years was over the fact that you're supposed to work in it.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has inspired a bunch of people to follow their dreams, but here's the problem. He was good at wrestling.
He was a very great wrestler for at least 12 years before he did that.
He's on the Mount Rushmore, okay? You're not on anything except for Miro, who is still stuck in the void.
Might actually be remembered more than Hulk Hogan when they're both gone and done. Listen,
it's just another person that got in the wrestling business and wasted everybody's time.
Let me make this insanely clear again. I would usually not use this kind of language just because it was a woman. But this little bitch and all her stupid little words, you got they would rather bring your husband back because at least they know, like, hey, we screwed up.
Yeah.
That's why we had to let him go. He was unhappy.
He's also talented.
He's great in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay? You, on the other hand, we worked with you to get you over. Because they did.
You also dropped an accent live on television that was you. That was no one else.
Well, you were supposed to be keeping kayfabe.
Yep.
Okay? And then...
What was that official segment, by the way? When did that happen?
Was that the John Cena, Enzo, and Cass segment?
That might have been, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But
Kofi dropped it, but let's be honest here. Vince didn't care because that was back, like I said, when USA was doing their characters promotion. So him dropping it allowed them to feature him as a young African.
On the show.
Here
was the thing. Well, though, when he dropped it, it was just kind of sudden. It didn't happen during. It was just 1 week. He just didn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then of course,
Triple H made
Daddy DX was like, "Weren't you supposed to be Jamaican?"
Yeah.
By the way, nice nod, Triple H. No, you know the creative. You know the creative. But just shut up. Just be, as my uncle likes to say, who fought for 25, 30 years in the military, has a great military record.
Yeah.
just because you have a right to free speech doesn't mean you should fucking talk sometimes. Shut up. Just shut up.
Go do what your name
says
backwards.
She has spilled so much. And
no, because then she'll scream, which means I can still hear.
Yeah,
and I don't want to hear her.
We can. Well, no, maybe she won't scream.
She
could be a hot dog down the hallway.
A 747 going to the gig.
Yep. There you go.
She thought she was gonna spill tea, and she has spilled spoiled milk. That is all she's ever spilled.
She spilled water.
Yeah, right.
Because remember, the first thing was
Vince rewrites the show 30 times. Like
we all didn't fucking know that already.
I know.
Nobody knew that. Oh, by the way, Nia Jax got a table spot next because she thought she desered something because of her family was.
The thing that people thought maybe got Paul in trouble, but it was a 3-month difference, is Paul talked about how, the man will fucking rewrite your show like an hour before you even go, and you're like, all right. And then
here we go. Round the horses, y'all.
Lights, camera, let's go. We just got to do this now.
She has said a lot, and nothing's come out. Except
shit out of her mouth.
No, he's right. It's been water. It's literally been the most bland, nobody cares, nothing.
Right.
I can't believe that this person is still talking about someone who, again, all credit to the fucking Iconics, who never said a damn bad word about anybody. Which is weird because we've said a lot of bad words about your husband.
Trust me, Cassie Lee, I got a lot more one day.
But here's the deal. But here's the deal. Cassie Lee. Is it Cassidy Lee? Yeah, it's Cassidy Lee.
It's Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay.
Yeah. So Cassidy Lee did exactly what you should have done.
Yeah.
Carl Anderson, take note.
Right.
Carl Anderson, you're lucky you already had a successful career to where now people will book you and pay you like you were something. Because if you didn't, you'd be in a lot of trouble right now. But again, she said, I got to pay off my house. Right. I got to see the world. I made more money doing this than I ever had. She has left that bridge unburned.
Triple H dropped recently, when they move up talent to the main roster.
$250,000 a year, baby.
$250,000 a year guaranteed now.
Yeah. No.
So even that's when you're sitting and catering.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not a bad living.
No, it's really not.
I get why those guys won't leave. Like,
yeah.
Well, fuck, if I get a pay bump and I'm making $500,000, but like 4 months out of the year, I just show up and you tell me you got nothing. All right. You're still paying me.
Yeah. She does post some very nice pictures on,
she does.
on Twitter.
Yes.
Not Lana,
No, I know. But no, Jesse.
I'm happy that Tony Storm is back in wrestling now that you mentioned that.
We've already said.
We talked about that already,
Tony, but
because I was sent some stuff from OnlyFans, and boy, WWE makes everything look great, doesn't they? Oh my God, that girl looks like a girl I could find on Lake Superior down here. It was not impressive at all.
Really?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Got to meet her PWG. Sweetheart of a woman.
Yes. Mid?
I think.
Should we just go MJF mid at this point?
I think sometimes.
That was the greatest promo that has ever been put on AEW.
You know what? I'll be fair because it's not just her. You know what? I'll throw in Cassie Lee's husband. Wrestling tights seem to perk up the butt and the body. So the body looks real good. It looks real firm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then without it, we can see everything. And then without WWE cameras, we can really see everything. And then you go...
Vince is the only Jedi that came to our world.
And then you look...
A Jedi of camera angles.
No, he's just a Jedi of
entertainment. So it's like traveling in an ocean... only to realize it's a pond. You get what I'm getting at, Leroy?
Uh-huh. Oh,
yeah. You got to be at your fucking mind for me to pay $40 a month for that. Are you serious? That's it?
She's at the 40 mark?
I think it's 40.
Okay. Is that what she's doing?
And
for
then
Tony?
none of it's not nude, which is fine.
Yeah.
That is your right. It's your body.
Yeah.
But for $40?
Yeah.
By the way, that's my little rant on OnlyFans, by the way, so we're done with that.
That's great. But now, yes, it is time for Jesse. We have a top 5 that we will all be enjoying. Leroy, What is that top 5?
Top 5, and I can't believe you forgot about this.
Oh, I haven't forgotten, but you're such a great person to introduce things. We have to give you
all right. It is top 5.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Top 5.
Imagine if we gave him equipment to do it with, too.
Hey, I bought it myself.
No, but I'm saying, what if we gave you better equipment?
Right.
I'll buy it myself.
I know. I paid you back.
You got to give me more money and then I'll do it.
I paid you back.
I know. It was the.
Jesse's technically the freeloader over
that
here.
is fucked up entry at the same time. I got to fix that. Go ahead.
He gives me love. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
In the top 5 Triple H,
Yes.
men or women, and or
yes.
women. Yes.
Yes, folks. We are going to give you who we think are his best proteges.
Yes.
Anyone care to throw a name out there, and we'll see what we can do?
I can start.
I was going to start too. Yeah.
I mean, go for it.
Go ahead, Leroy.
My favorite, my number 1, is Randy Orton.
Okay.
Because he had a lot of influences, but I think his biggest influence, especially with, Evolution.
Yeah.
It was Triple H.
Now, while that was a great starting point, Randy's not even on my list because I've seen him since, and he would have been great either way. I'm sorry, but just as long as you can.
It might have taken a little longer.
It might take a little longer, but here's the deal: the kid finally grows up. What he could have done in 10 years, yes, he's done it over the course of 20, but he would have. If Triple H had never kept his mind straight, but then Randy would have grown up. Randy would have had a 5-year period where you would have looked at yourself and said, "Oh my God, this guy."
He had all the talent in the world.
Yeah. So, no, I can't even put Randy up there, but that's your number 1. Jesse, do you want to go 5 or 1?
Randy was actually outside of my top 5.
Okay.
And the reason he was outside of my top 5 was because even after Triple H in Evolution, while he was insanely and cringingly immature for a guy his age at that spot.
Yeah.
Once he did grow up and grow into his role more, he was excellent.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't have been as long of a great career,
right?
But it still would have been a great career,
right?
Arguably Shawn Michaels but not
right.
Yeah.
It would have been close.
Yeah.
I'll go from 5 to 1.
Okay.
So number 5 for me is Sasha Banks.
Okay. Arguably their best homegrown talent.
Outside of Bianca, yeah.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks has become such a special figure, even amongst the 4 horsewomen, that
she always stands out too.
And then to me, and this is not a shot at the other 3 because I think they're excellent wrestlers.
Yeah.
But she might be the best in-ring performer of all of them.
Name a woman on the roster that if they just let Sasha lead would have a bad match. You can't name one because
can't do it.
Because she'll work with an Io, she'll work with a Charlotte, she'll work with a Rhea, she'll work with anybody.
This is not a shot at Nia, but I've seen Nia in the ring with Sasha. She let Sasha lead, and the matches turn out really, really good.
Yeah.
So you just, I think Sasha is something special that I don't think a lot of wrestling fans will appreciate until the day she's like, no, I'm
keep
doing
track of
movies
your own top
full-time.
5, basically.
Oh, so yeah. So my number 5 is Sasha Banks.
Okay. My number 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, There's obvious who the best are, but these are my top 5 for my reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
It's Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
Because she shouldn't have been this good, based on everything we thought she was.
The fact she was the first one out of that group to win a women's championship.
That's what people don't realize.
There we go.
Jesse, I had to remind you, Finn Balor never won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
You and everyone else has to keep reminding me, Alexa Bliss was the first of all of the NXT women to win a major world title.
Right.
So, Little Miss Bliss has to be my number 5 because, Jesse, she came in, she said, I'll be a referee. They saw something in her. Mm-hmm. They put her as a manager. You thought, it's literally just glitter. It's a glitter. It's a cheerleader. It's a whatever.
Right.
And then she comes up to the main roster after Buddy and what's-his-face are gone. And,
or they kept them in NXT.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that you're like, what are we doing? Right. And from the second she comes out with a microphone, and again, arguably the biggest pop of that whole week, you sat there and you were like, I don't know how, and I don't know what she's going to do in ring. But God damn it, do I want to see her. And not from a physical standpoint, from a holy crap, she's got excellent. Me. She's got me from she's got me from the word go. That's my number 5.
Unfortunately, you just revealed my number 3 too.
Is that your 3?
She's my 3.
Okay.
I never had. And
are you writing down your top 5, by the way, Leroy? You got Randy at number 1.
Okay, well, I just have Randy. Okay.
Yeah.
I do have one. You just said Sasha. On mine. So,
Where's Sasha on yours? So we'll just mark that down.
God, I don't know.
I don't even have Sasha up there. I mean, that's no offense to her. Like I said, my list is going to be weird, but it's just because I have gone back and watched so much of this. Well, then
Bliss is 3 on mine because of everything you said. And then, like I said, the first thing that makes me go like, that's incredible, and why I thought more NXT call-ups would work. That was not the woman's wrestler I thought Vince would latch on to.
Right.
It was Charlotte because of the name.
Yeah.
So when Alexa was the first to win a major championship when they all get called up, I was like, holy shit.
All roads may have led to Seth at WrestleMania, but all roads go through Vince McMahon. So there's that.
Because you said Sasha, I honestly, and I put Bayley up there too. So you've got Sasha. You said Bayley. All right. So Jesse, do you want to get? All right. So we have your 3. Who's your 4?
This one's gonna seem a little weird to everyone.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't won a major title yet.
Yeah.
But I love him and I don't care. Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Now people don't think of Sami Zayn as a Triple H prodigy, because of everything he did as El Generico on the indie scene. But in WWE, what Triple H kind of, got into him was, you can do all this, but why don't I also help you learn how to do some other stuff to keep your career on a longer path? And look at where he is now.
Yeah.
He's incredible. Funny enough, Kevin's not on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's very much so a Triple H guy.
Yeah.
But it's just because I think with or without Triple H, Kevin was going to be a world
Kevin
champion.
Owens is my number 4 because Triple H made Vince let Kevin be Kevin.
Right.
For just long enough for Vince to get it.
Right.
This is what Triple H can do that Jim Cornette was talking about with Adam Cole. Triple H is a guy that, unlike the rest of the yes men backstage who are like, well, Vince, you have to look at him in terms of like, and again, I think Adam Cole's comparison would have been Roddy Piper.
Right.
Triple H makes Vince skip that step and just let somebody go. So KO's my number 4 because I think he just told Vince, let him be KO for X amount of time, and it worked. Vince saw it.
I agree.
Vince saw it. All right, Leroy. Okay, Jesse, you're number 3 because Leroy's already got 3 people.
So my 5 is Banks.
Yep.
My 4 is Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
My 3 is Bliss.
Okay.
What else do you need? Get a pen.
Marker.
The Sharpie that's right.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. So all right. So I'm the only one that doesn't have 3. All right. So my number 3. It's Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Because Becky Lynch, we all know as the real life Becky Lynch, was never going to have the confidence to do something like this. Was never really, in my opinion, gonna do and not a shot. I love Becky, not a shot at Becky, but people have stuff. But Triple H just needs to see 5 seconds of you, and to be like, okay, let's try that again.
Right.
I don't think Becky Lynch stops doing what she's doing, which was being basically a jobber for a little while.
Right.
If Triple H doesn't tell Becky, oh no, you can do this. No one's denying that.
Right.
But it took a while on the main roster for her to understand that there was a period where, okay, they have to give you the opportunity. Becky Lynch is the prime example, number 1 example of what I've always said. They give you one opportunity, you hit a home run. They give you another, you hit another home run. And you just keep hitting. That's Becky Lynch is number 1 on my list all time of they just gave her a chance and she kept doing well at it.
Right.
So Becky's my number 3 because I don't think that Triple H took a Becky Lynch.
Triple H. That's not really Riggy is pronounced.
Right?
Triple H.
I don't think Triple H, without him, I don't think Becky Lynch sticks around in that. I think it's a Toni Storm situation where Becky might have walked out.
Maybe.
Becky might have walked out. So that's my number 3. So Leroy, we have your number 1, but now we're in the ranges
got 1, 2, 3. Well, some of these there's no particular order because I love them all.
Okay, yeah.
My next one, I Seth.
Ooh.
It's hard not to put Seth on your list.
He was their first NXT champ.
He was.
I mean, and everything that he is right now. Yeah, I mean,
You're a bastard.
I'm sorry.
You just revealed his number 2.
You just revealed my number 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh.
That's my number 2.
I say most of mine are no particular order. I'm not trying to do everything, but yeah.
No, number 2. Number 2 for me just returned home. I've been telling you, Zach, this for years.
Okay.
I said no matter how many shots he takes at him, no matter how many times he takes little digs at him, I will never forget the photo I was shown in 2009 of a young man coming in with his father, standing next to Big Papa with the WWE Championship at the time, standing right next to Triple H, and that's Cody Rhodes, and how in awe of him he looked. Mm-hmm. And I said, that dude's a fan of Triple H.
Yeah.
And as he's talked about recently, the first time I met him, I didn't even want to say words because, he was enamored with them. And Triple H smartly took him under the wing.
Yeah.
And FCW's, it told Dusty, I'm going to work with your boy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get your boy there. Mm-hmm. Whatever you need from me, I'll get your boy there. It was his idea to have him work with Randy Orton and do Legacy.
Yeah.
It was his idea that when Legacy broke up, hey, let's put him on SmackDown. Vince, put him with the mid-card guys. Let him work his way up.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes has always been a Triple H guy.
Oh, yeah.
He just didn't like to talk about it because it was uncool for a while to be like, man, I love Triple H.
Yeah.
But he's always been that guy. And, of course, number 1 is Seth Rollins to me. Without Triple H, there's just no Seth freaking Rollins.
No.
No, and I agree, but
no matter how great that kid has always been.
And maybe this is me being such a fan of Seth that I think Vince would have eventually seen it. I just think Triple H made it faster.
Yeah.
I think because of it. Remember, it kind of went back to the land of the giants there. That's when I walked away from WWE.
True.
It went back to kind of being the land of the giants. So when I first saw the Shield guys, when I first saw Roman, I'm like, that guy's gonna be champ one day. Mm-hmm. I was on the pessimistic side, like that guy's getting shoved down our fucking throat one day, which I ended up being right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that guy's getting shoved down our throat one day. Mm-hmm. Clearly, he's a part of the Rock's family lineage.
Yeah.
I saw him because he was a heel back then. I'm like, he can clearly cut a promo.
Yeah.
And he's a big Samoan. That dude's gonna be a superstar. Mm-hmm. Plus, the ladies love how he looks. He's easy on the eyes.
He is.
I'm like, if he gets any jacked, he's gonna be a superstar. But luckily, he's growing into what he is.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah.
But so Roman was gonna be a marked guy regardless.
Oh yeah.
Seth Rollins though is a guy that I think because of Triple H,
he was the king of the Indies for probably a good 2-3 years.
And because of Triple H, Tyler Black all of a sudden as you know, Triple H is bringing him Vince these tapes is probably like, yeah, this kid's got something.
Yeah.
This kid's got something special about him. And I thought the brilliant stroke of genius was the heel turn and the breaking up of the Shield.
Yeah. Because
then you kind of got to see him develop as his own persona. Because really in the Shield, he was the architect.
Yeah.
But it really felt like Dean Ambrose was the leader of the group.
It really did.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, that's why I used to tell people, because, you know, Dean was the last to win a championship.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he'll get there. He's young, stone cold. I bet you Vince sees him that way.
Yeah.
Like, he's the young, crazy dude. Like, he'll get the championship, but mostly he's going to be a chase guy.
Yeah.
No problem with that. But Seth Rollins, the more you saw the heel promos, you're like, this is corporate Triple H. This is Triple H on the power trip in DX. Like, he is the embodiment of future Triple H. And then everything that he's done with his different characters, I'm like, yeah, he's got Triple H written all over him. And then like I said with Cody Rhodes, it's always been there. Dyeing your hair blonde, wearing suits all of a sudden. The first time I saw that in Ring of Honor, I was like, come on, bro.
Because your daddy never wore a suit.
Right.
Your daddy never wore a suit. That was not what your daddy did.
But Triple H loved to wear the suits as a champion.
Oh, yeah.
Leroy, before I reveal my number one, do we have 5 from you?
I agree with him with Cody.
Okay. All right.
I don't have any new, but yeah.
Okay.
Cody was my next one, so.
My number one, and I have said this for a long time.
Also, before you say your number one, think about it. Who else but a Paul Levesque type guy would go, I'm going to go compete with Vince?
That's
Who has
true.
the balls to do that anymore?
That's true.
Like
That's
all these companies, besides when, it was the idiot Dixie Carter with Hulk Hogan.
Douchebag Dixie Carter.
Right. Outside of her,
the DDC,
all the other companies in America
so well.
have mostly just been like, you know what, we'll help you with developmental. We'll send people to you.
Yeah.
But he literally did what, remember Triple H has once talked about in a documentary, like, would I start a company against my father-in-law? Absolutely. Because he didn't like the ass kisses in the back either.
Yeah. My number one.
All right.
This man is arguably Seth Rollins 2.0, or sorry, he's Tyler Black 2.0 from the Indies. It's Adam Cole.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you argue a guy who could have gone anywhere, who could have done anything, but he wanted to basically almost reset his career and go to the land of the giants and compete. And even as a skinny guy who, again, towards the end was taking it more seriously because I think he was getting ready for a main event push, and now just doesn't give a rat's ass about working out.
Right.
Triple H was never going to let Adam Cole go without a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Adam Cole had to decide between himself leaving and himself staying for it to matter. But if Triple H had a decision, Adam Cole was never going to get fired. Adam Cole was never going to get released. Adam Cole was never going to be on the chopping block. It was never going to happen. It would have taken an act of God for Paul Levesque to let Adam Cole walk out the door. Now, I also say to myself, Triple H has learned a lot from Vince about production. He might be the only other person on this planet that understands production the way Vince did.
Oh, for sure.
He made Adam Cole a star. Whether it was... Because remember, they didn't spend a lot of time on the camera that AEW spends a lot of time on, which is the hard camera, making Adam Cole look small compared to everybody else. Right. Triple H put him in a ring with 3 guys who, yes, arguably were the same size.
Right.
But the way Bobby's Fish has always stood in the ring, Bobby always looked smaller.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly, the way that Kyle was so laid back, he didn't seem as serious.
Right.
And Roddy's always been skinny, but has the cardio of, I don't know, a whale.
The gods?
I don't know what Roddy's training is, but when you ask Roddy to go 60 minutes, Roddy's like, okay, and?
No kidding.
And?
Oh, my
and
God.
What? Now what? And won't even break a straight sweat doing it. But Adam Cole comes in. It's clear that Vince liked the guy.
Right.
It's clear that Vince was aware of what Adam Cole was doing. It's just that Vince is not going to completely take the main roster and flip it on its ass just for anybody unless you're a Hulk Hogan, unless you're an Andre the Giant, unless you are guys like that. Because Roddy Piper didn't even get that. That's why Roddy Piper was the perfect Adam Cole comparison.
I told people, John Cena was an anomaly of a guy who worked his ass off.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. Triple H gave this kid everything he needed. He also kept Cole from his worst instincts, which were to work what the Bucks are doing. I mean, Adam, based on your first video on BTE, all they had to do was sign Super Dragon to be your producer, and you would have stayed?
Probably.
That's it?
You know what? Here's interesting as you bring up Adam Cole.
Yeah.
We actually disagree. I never thought he was a Paul guy. I was pretty sure he was a Shawn guy, though.
Well, but Shawn and Paul
are,
in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing, though.
When it comes to backstage stuff, I think they're one and the same.
I think the big difference is with Triple H doesn't want to let you get go. Maybe you still get let go. If Shawn Michaels don't want you to go nowhere, you ain't going no damn
But
where.
I think that Shawn felt the same way about Cole. But the thing about Shawn is that Shawn himself has said before, I didn't know if I'd ever be good at this production thing. And I think even now he defers to Hunter because Hunter has a much more longer term idea. Because here's the deal. Shawn, even during Shawn's reign of terror, was never a long term thinking guy.
No.
Shawn Michaels didn't think more past 3 months.
Right.
So that's my whole thing is that to me, he's a Paul guy because I think Adam became a Paul guy when he got there. Because Shawn wasn't in as much. Shawn came in later in the Undisputed Era, but Paul really looked at him, and all of a sudden, Adam started to defer to Paul and be like, "Oh, I get why this guy did what he did. I get this. Yeah. I get that." But the problem for me is just where Adam's gone. But we've already highlighted that. We're not going to do it again.
Right.
But Adam Cole was going to go to the main roster. Fine, you manage. You're still one of the best talkers in the business.
Right.
Maybe they would have given you story time with Adam Cole back. I don't freaking know.
Right.
You cut your hair? Really? You're devaluing... Okay, Pete Dunne literally came out recently and said, I think it's my in-ring style that's always been my thing, not my names.
Yeah.
So apparently Pete Dunne has more self-esteem than Adam Cole because Adam Cole thought he was all entrance. Adam Cole thought he was all entrance and all hair.
No.
Which, by the way... I hate that you thought that because I felt so much more about you. But the thing is that by now, let's imagine when you would have come up. By now, your hair would be back and Vince would not give 3 rats hairy butts.
Right.
But that's the thing.
He'd probably be in Austin Theory's position, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'd probably definitely be in Austin Theory's position.
But that's my whole thing. Which, by the way, I'm not against Austin Theory being there because A, he's cockier than hell, and B, he is talented. I mean,
here's the thing.
He's a blue chipper.
If Adam Cole
had
the Undisputed Era and came up and was in Austin Theory's position, you think Vince wouldn't be even more involved?
Thank you.
You'd probably be back on TV all the time talking about, yeah, my guy.
Not to mention
my Shawn Michaels.
Not to mention the fact it wrote itself.
Right.
Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole 2. Wrestle freaking Mania.
Right.
It wrote itself.
Right.
That would have been sweet.
Austin Theory be happy Adam
agree.
Cole left. Otherwise, you'd probably be still back in the back.
Right. Well, he'd be still in NXT, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I only, like I said, the only thing I disagree with.
You think
is
he's more of a Shawn guy?
I thought he was more of a Shawn guy.
Yeah, okay.
I thought what Triple H did was make him build stock in himself.
Yes.
And see that
but to be fair, look at Triple H's top pupils, regardless of what anyone thinks. They're all the same. Confidence issue. Triple H says yes. Boom. I think I'm a star.
Yeah,
Becky, Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, Alexa Bliss, Adam Cole. They all had confidence. Seth's an outlier because Seth has always been confident in himself. That's why he was
Charlotte
so successful.
She didn't have confidence issues though, because remember her dad was still around in the company at the time. So there's really no confidence issues. I think her worry was not living up to his name.
But in general, he has removed a lot of worry, regardless of if it's anxiety or whatever, or self-doubt. Triple H...
I think probably Vince removed that, though, from her. Just probably let her know, like, you're going to be your own thing.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to sell you on the Flair name.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so take Charlotte out. Becky, Triple H said you can do this.
Right.
Sasha probably had a few moments where she was like, can I really do this?
I will never consider Bayley one of them because to me, I think what Bayley benefited from was the development.
Yes.
Because if she goes anywhere else and there's still a big company around, she's going to become a mega babyface somewhere.
True.
She just had it. She had, and
that is true. There's a connection that Bayley has that no one else.
There's just
no one else.
She understands how to interact with the fans, and so that she was always going to find a way to be a superstar.
True.
But yeah, Alexa Bliss. Randy Orton, like I said, I've always been 60-40 Triple H guy, but I get why a lot of people feel that way about him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know some people would also be like, what about Baron Corbin? I'm like, well, Baron Corbin's a big dude who lost the weight, got ripped. He was going to do okay.
And some people would say too they would bundle in maybe Batista too.
No, he was all Vince. Yeah. Because remember, Mark Jindrak was originally supposed to be the fourth member.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Vince said, I got this guy in FCW.
OVW.
Thank you, sorry. Yeah. I got this guy, Jim's been working with, and, they brought up to Leviathan. To work with Devon, because at that point he had been on TV for a couple of weeks.
Wrap this up now.
What did you find?
You know what? And go.
Gene just sent me something, and I believe this is out of the PWL. I've seen Gunter a couple of times. Reminds me of Heidenreich.
Oh, my God. No. Who the hell said that? Heidenreich...
Heidenreich almost got a world title push, so that's
not that's not the worst thing. All right, so, Jesse, we're going to move on to our last couple of things. Number one. It's on the list. Jesse, what do you think? Do you think the Laparcas were just done? Do you think the Laparca family was just done with this whole thing? Because this incident's been really swept under the rug by a lot of people.
Well, you can't sweep under the rug the fact that everyone heard the backstage yelling. What I don't understand is, one, Laparca was always a professional.
Yeah.
So they clearly did not learn this from their daddy.
Yeah, all three of them that were involved in it. I mean, what the hell?
Because I think there was like a contract dispute. They might have been there last night. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But technically, they were going to lose to the two top guys in MLW anyway.
Yeah. Well, one of them, I don't know which one of them. They stated was going to get a push for a title shot.
The oldest kid.
I believe so.
The oldest kid.
And that was in the bookings, but now it has been taken off.
Oh, clearly.
Cardinal fucking sin in American and Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
And understandably so. Do not go into business for yourself.
Well, actually, Mexican wrestling's kind of the same way, although there is a lot more
politics. I'm about to say there's a lot more of it.
Right.
Because of all the politics in it.
Yeah.
But in a North American... So cut off Mexico from North America, North America and Canada.
Yeah.
And in Japanese wrestling, a cardinal sin that will get you never signed again is going into business. Because while we all saw that video, I've shown people that video of Minoru Suzuki with Kana-chan, and while she did tell New Japan that New Japan that she gave him the permission, he still almost got fucking killed.
Yeah.
Because they don't believe in that shit there.
Yeah.
But it's also Minoru Suzuki. You're not going to...
Well, but back then it was also to the Yakuza.
Yes, exactly.
So he kind of backed the fuck off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because as bad as a motherfucker he is, that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I'm glad you got your family name when you go back to Mexico, because that's all you're going to have for a while.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No one's going to book you in this country. No one's going to book you probably in Europe or Japan after this. I just and by the way, why would you shoot on Jacob Fatu and Alexander Thor Hammerstone?
Those aren't two guys you want to shoot on.
No.
Now, luckily they handled it like professionals and waited till they were backstage to try to fight him. But and by the way, apparently then try to act like they didn't do anything wrong was the report. Speaking Spanish, talking about, we don't understand what you're talking about. We weren't shooting. Yes, you were. Everyone saw it.
Yeah.
It was Jacob who then got serious for a second. Alexander forced the finish, and then they almost fought you two backstage. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. They've never had a problem in MLW, so I don't even know where this comes from.
And again, like you said, their daddy was a constant.
Their daddy, by the way, who used to work with MLW quite tightly because, of course, they have the relationship with AAA and all that. Dude, their father has never had these issues. Never.
No.
WCW used them a lot.
Oh God, yeah.
Parker was beloved in WCW.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't get it, man. But
it makes no sense. No.
I'm glad you guys can still work in Mexico, because that's the only place you're going to be fucking working for a while.
Yeah.
I don't. No one understands why.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I have a bad feeling Dad is going to have to come out and explain what the hell happened here, because they're acting like they don't know what happened.
One thing I've always said about the great all-time luchadors, and La Parka's up there. I'm sorry.
He's well up there.
He is. They never burned bridges in America. They never did it. Because while they could get booked to Mexican royalty down there, them American paychecks were something.
They were larger. The Japanese and American paychecks were much larger.
I said this many shows ago, Jesse. You were here. And that's... Actually, no. It was when we were talking about black wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically black wrestlers, because Mexican and Japanese wrestlers could always get territory work.
Yeah, they could.
There was always the ability to come up and do some work. It might not have been the best work, but they could always get a job in a territory.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing about right now, is that Dad's going to have to find a way to smooth this over, because if they want a contract anywhere else, the locker room ain't going to let you in. Forget the promoter.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, to be fair, there's probably a lot of sleazy promoters that want these guys right now just for the publicity, but the locker room ain't going to work with you.
Like I said, I'm just super confused, because they've never had issues as far as I know of. There's never been rumors of issues.
I've never heard of any issues.
There's never been issues or problems with the Fatua Parker family. I mean, hell, Rikishi and Parker have worked together a million times.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't even know where this came from. Yeah. But MLW did the right thing and said, yeah, you guys might be three of our top guys in our tag division, but you're gone.
Well, but this is what I tell people all the time. Tony is the only wrestling promoter in America that I truly believe that if shit like this were to happen, A, because I don't think he would know what to do, but B, he wouldn't cut the right people.
No.
You do something like
this, or anybody.
Now in the Thunder Rosa and Ivy, I think it's Ivy or something.
Sexy Star.
Evilise,
yeah.
It was easy to make that decision.
Well, yeah, because Thunder Rosa was...
Because it was like you can clearly see what was happening.
Yeah.
And Thunder Rosa's the star you're going to push.
Well, not only that, but Thunder Rosa is nothing, if not from what I've heard from everybody, the most constant professional.
I'm about to say she's usually the most consummate professional.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Takes L's at will actually take losses in independent bookings so they can build their wrestlers, like just real professional.
Yeah.
Knowing she doesn't have to because her star is rising.
If any woman could walk into any indie promotion and be like, okay, I'll take your booking, but I'm beating whoever you give me, it'd be Thunder Rosa.
Right.
But she doesn't care.
No.
Because Thunder Rosa sits back and says, oh no, I'm always legit when I walk in the ring. It don't matter how many L's in a row I take.
Plus, she does a lot of cool shit with bringing wrestlers out to her training facility. So just consummate professional.
Just an amazing person.
Like I said, I do not understand this Parker family situation, and the heat that they got. But I do feel bad for the dad now who actually explained the heat.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of heat.
Oh, we got some heat?
We have Haitian heat.
We got Haitian heat hot sauce. That's right, folks. Al Sands is out there in California. He's
getting ready for a big fight.
Getting ready for a big fight. Can't wait to have him on afterwards. But, folks, are you currently trying to get yourself into better shape for swimsuit weather? And this is off the top of my head. Are you ready for some swimsuit weather?
I think we all are.
Well, you know what? If you want
for most swimsuits, yes.
Yes. Well. I mean, Leroy, let's be honest. You're just kind of like you're a tarp. But anyway,
You call him a tarp?
No, he wears a tarp.
Oh,
it fits.
I know.
and it's water resistant.
But no. Do you guys want to get in better shape? Do you also have those meal plans out there, folks? Do you know? We understand that yes, sauces tend to be where those hidden calories are.
Yeah.
Ain't no hidden calories in Haitian heat hot sauce. Haitian heat hot sauce was designed specifically for the idea that Al could go to a full training camp and still get those wonderful island flavors from Haiti and some amazing heat as well. Because, folks, what is food without a little bit of that spice to sort of wake up the palate?
And also, because these are all made with natural peppers, you actually get the natural flavoring of the pepper.
Yes, you do.
As well as a little bit of heat. Now, the heat will not stay, but the flavor will.
They wanted flavor over heat, which is what you don't normally get in hot sauces.
That's very true.
So basically, not to necessarily call out anyone for this, but when you see a show like hot ones. The idea is to get the heat to people.
Correct.
Not necessarily the flavoring. Al's not looking for that. And by the way, not just Al, all the people over at Haitian Heat
That's right.
are over there. They really want you to make this part of your condiment rotation in a sense that you can put that shit on everything as well we do.
That's right.
And again, it's all natural, but because of the way they make it and because of all the hard work they put into it, it does not really spoil. It just gets more flavorful and hotter.
And you can actually use it as a marinade.
Yeah.
So if you are looking to get that body into shape for the summer, if you are looking to just maybe get into a healthier diet, but you want some heat and some flavor with your food, then go to facebook.com/Haitian Heat. Once again, that is facebook.com/Haitian Heat. Now, remember, sometimes the orders will take a while, but they are better now about letting you know when you will get your order, because it is homegrown, homemade right here in Minnesota.
Quality is worth waiting for is basically where Jesse's going.
That's right.
And you know what?
And also always go check out the
videos so worth it.
of his daughter testing all the flavor sauces he does. Also, remember, they do have 3 flavors of barbecue sauce.
They do.
Which they use natural hickory for. So once again, you are getting natural ingredients that do not have many to any calories at all, and you can build that beach body or just get yourself back in shape for the summer today.
And by the way, it's just damn good to boot.
We literally just put that shit on everything.
We do.
All right. It's funny, as entertaining as that is. You know what's also entertaining?
What is
also entertaining? I think so too,
yeah. Dark Arts Entertainment.
Dark Arts Entertainment.
Live in Vegas. Now, interestingly enough,
yes,
they have posted a couple of shows here coming up.
All right.
Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a show that they have coming up in July. It actually might be a week after my show out of town. I'm thinking about making a trip.
All right.
I think I'll let you guys know that way if you're going to go. You're running to your boy Jay. But Dark Arts Entertainment brought to you by... He forgot already.
What? Oh, my.
Can I not
He
do
just drew a blank there.
No,
oh, my God.
No,
that was...
No, can I not do a dramatic pause?
Oh, you can do a dramatic
okay.
pause.
All right.
Brought to you by...
DarkArtsVegas.com.
And brought to you at the training facility.
Super Beast Training Compound.
Right there in Reno, Nevada. Right there near Las Vegas, Nevada. They are 420
in the Arts District.
Thank you, in the Arts
Remember
District
that?
of Las Vegas, Nevada.
And we'd like to say, Jesse, as always, to those lovely people we have are...
So listen, you can enjoy either a sideshow, you can enjoy some awesome live music and entertainment.
Yep.
And you can also do it while drinking or get a little high off your weed because they are 420 friendly.
And again, folks, you will see some of the most unique hybrid pro wrestling show entertainment that is possible in that area, maybe possible in the country.
And actually, they have a couple of kind of more well-known wrestlers coming to some events in June and July.
They do, yeah.
So remember to go to darkartsentertainment.com. Once again, that's darkartsentertainment.com.
DarkArtsVegas.com.
Thank you, darkartsvegas.com. If the app sometimes doesn't work, you can also message them on Facebook. They do respond.
Yes.
That way, if you want to get your tickets, they will get you your tickets.
Ben, Super Beast, Funny Bone, all the guys out there in Dark Arts Entertainment putting on some great shows.
And I cannot wait to come back with a live report from the one in July, I hope.
That'd be great.
Because it looks like it's going to be a hell of a show.
Speaking of reports, Jesse, we are going to try out a new segment today. We want to wait till the end. And you're actually super excited about this.
Sure.
This is the first of soon to be many. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Jesse to go back to school. And it's time for a book report from Jesse Stowe.
So... one of the 2 books that I got the chance to read, thanks to Zach here, was Shawn Michaels'
Heartbreak and Triumph.
Heartbreak and Triumph. And guys, if you've never read this book, it is worth the read. Shawn Michaels goes into great detail, opening up about how he got into the business, his life growing up. For those who don't know, it comes from a very military family. So most of his childhood was kind of rough. Also a lot of moving around, things of that nature. So he really didn't get the chance to have a great childhood. So when he started to get the stardom that we know of in the WWF, now known as WWE, you know, this is a young guy, 22, 23, who is basically still probably a teenager in his mind. And when you give that kind of guy a lot of money,
freedom, access to drugs,
and all this power within a company, you run into problems. And he also gets into the minutia of how maybe the back injury ended up becoming a light at the end of the tunnel because he was still dealing with all of his addictions, dealing with the fact that maybe he would never wrestle again. It was his one passion to get away from all of his hardships.
Yeah.
And how the back injury really did allow him to just take a step back. He opened his Shawn Michaels School of Training down there in Texas.
Yep.
And working with the young people, getting a chance to meet his wife, really changed his life around. And her getting him to come to church and accepting his faith really re-motivated him to want to return to wrestling, where I think we got probably the best run of his career when he returned in 2002, 2003.
What's really unique is, when Cal was here, we talked about it. I love reading books and seeing guys come out of addiction, but I want less of that.
Right.
The second half of that book, the way he spoke about that second run, it's arguably more interesting than him talking about all the issues he had in the first one.
Right. I agree.
It's so well written. It's so well put together. He's a very honest guy, and I think it's one of those things where, like, books like this might have the WWE sticker on them, but you're really getting a real sense of what these guys felt, what they wanted to say. And Jesse said this off mic before we started. We pretty much know a lot of the stories in the book,
right?
But to hear it from his perspective, and by the way, he doesn't try to really blame anybody else.
No, I mean
in most of the stories,
he really takes a lot of accountability for a lot of that.
And it's been well documented, especially on this show, the way Leroy and I disagree on the whole, seriousness with the cross. But I've always said this: if you're able to turn your life around, ain't nothing wrong with trying, everything at least once. And this worked for Shawn, and Shawn's obviously a happier person because of it.
And it seems like the second run also kind of gave him because he was, he talks about how selfish he was during the first run. And
in the book.
No,
folks, in the book, he says they literally didn't know the finish, and he looked at Kurt Angle and was just like, take it.
Right. He was so willing to give to guys.
He gave Kurt the finish because he basically said, at this point in my career, it can't hurt me.
Right.
Yeah.
He goes into
and not in a selfish way.
Right.
He was very open about it.
He also goes into great minutia about when he won the World Heavyweight Championship, how he didn't want it.
Yeah.
But it was his best friend Triple H who said, "Listen, you deserve at least one more run with this championship because." You should appreciate this now when you couldn't appreciate it back then.
Because he was always messed up.
Because he was always...
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How much of the Montreal Screwjob chapter do you actually believe? Do you think Shawn was a little bit more innocent in that than people originally thought?
I will say... I used to say this, and I believe it even more after reading that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I believe more now than ever.
Yeah.
That Shawn was always more of a pawn. Now he was willing to do it.
Yeah.
Because he was the guy, he was the top guy.
Yeah.
But Shawn was definitely a pawn, and I agree with Vince more now than ever. Even though he took what he took for saying it, but
yeah.
Brett screwed Brett back then. The understanding of the business is that if you're a champion but you're going to leave and go to a different promotion, you put a guy over, you let them win the championship.
And sorry if it's in your hometown, but that was booked long before you decided you weren't going to resign.
Right. And if that's the case, then you lose the championship, you move on.
Yep.
It's not like anyone would have forgotten his run there.
Yeah.
Brett got greedy.
Yeah.
Brett overplayed his hand.
Yep.
And he forced his boss's hand, and the boss showed who had the power.
And I also think, because I don't want to take away from Bret the Hitman Hart, Leroy, you have great memories of Bret. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Bret, I love you, but you overplayed your hand because you were with the wrong promoter.
I agree.
You were a wrestler's wrestler. This was an entertainment booker. And I'm sorry, but if you thought that you deserved to be that highly paid in a company where you weren't willing to do the things that made that company that kind of money,
right,
folks, this is how any sport works. LeBron James gets a $250 million contract. Jesse, how much can the Lakers make off LeBron James in one season?
Probably $1 billion.
Bret Hart was not a return on investment guy in WWE at that price.
Right.
He just wasn't, especially back then.
Right.
So, look, the whole Bret screwed Bret, I think, is more of a fan invention than anything else.
Well, no. Vince said it.
I know he said it, Jesse, but my point is that backstage-wise, I think the fans have held on to that phrase more than I think the backstage people
because all it really meant was all Vince was saying back then was like, he forced my hand because I cannot let my championship go to my competition.
No. And by the way, there's a forgotten woman in this situation who caused the problem. Alinda Blaze.
Right.
Blaze. A little dry mouth there.
Alinda
Medusa.
Blaze. Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
She did it live on television.
And it not only did it anger Vince, but it broke his heart.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's technically her contract hadn't quite run out when she did that.
Right. But Vince, who by the way hates lawyers, didn't sue her. Could have. Yeah. Very easily.
Oh God, yeah.
So, but that book, if you have never read it, by the way, I believe they actually have a listening version where Sean reads it.
Yes.
Then I actually implore you to do so, because hearing Sean's story from his own mouth is incredible, and it really is inspiring. You, Leroy, and Zach have talked about before, but I've always said to Leroy, I love and respect his faith because I think Leroy is one of the best men I've ever met.
Yeah.
I left the church years ago, and I'm comfortable with that decision. But it had more to do with the politics than, the actual faith.
Same.
Yeah, there's a lot of politics in that.
Yeah.
Bad.
But one thing...
Leroy got lucky. You got a hell of a church there. I'll give you that much.
A hell of a church and the hell of the Methodists aren't that bad.
True.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah. And so...
he's also not pushy about it.
Well, what I was going to say was it became inspirational because it lets you know, like, it's never too late to fix your life.
Yeah. And
your best years are still ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I thought the story was absolutely wonderful. And Sean's still been giving back to the company ever since he retired.
Yeah.
In 2011. So he still had the school even before he came back as a producer. So yeah, awesome stuff. I hope to finish Eric's book this week, Eric Bischoff.
Yep.
That one definitely, while not more inspiring, it's definitely a lot more intriguing.
Leroy, any questions for follow-up there on Jesse's report?
No.
Any parts of Michael's career that you have questions about?
I just got to read the book.
Okay.
I've seen a lot.
Just give it to Leroy.
I've seen a lot of his career on the TV and then hearing stuff afterwards.
I think what people have to understand, and Sean is the poster child in wrestling. When you get into a sport, everyone's talented.
Right.
But then you find out, oh, you're not just talented, you're arguably the greatest of all time at this.
Yeah.
Folks, here's a guy who he went through the era of I'm just better, give it to me, whatever.
Right.
But then turned around and said, I'm still better than all of them, but now I got to give a little something back to the game. Which, by the way, this is my LeBron argument.
Well, Sean also was on the edge thought, too, of I really don't know how much time I have.
Yeah.
Because really when the back was cleared, he really did not know.
He probably should have, especially with medical technology at that point, should have only had 3 years.
Right. And he got another 10 years out of his career.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was a hell of a read when I first read it. I did a book report on it in 8th grade. I even cut a shirt to look like one of Sean's flip shirts. I literally put stars on my jeans when I did it. It was a lot of fun. It's a hell of a read. It's a hell of a book. And it's really, once again, one of those books that if you struggle with addiction, look, it doesn't have to be religion, but you can see someone that on screen looked like they had the world, together.
Right.
Didn't. And, if it helps somebody, it helps somebody. And, sometimes it just takes a little bit of a breather, takes a little bit of a book. And like I said, I'm not against finding religion. I'm just of the understanding that just remember, not everyone's gonna like the same stuff, and that's all I ever say. But that's all.
Find your inspiration where it works for you.
But no, I'm Jesse. Really glad that you got a chance to do that. We're gonna have a much longer conversation about Eric's book because there's a lot more in that thing.
That bitch is intriguing.
I would not doubt that.
Oh,
After
mean,
all the hearing the news from that,
man. Eric Bischoff. I mean, he really is a man that probably should have put Vince McMahon out of business.
Should have. Should have, could have, would have.
Really reading this book, his own failure is why he couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Vince that did it.
No.
It was him that did it.
Well, but it's also a cautionary tale of not just why Vince stays away from the boys to the point that he does, but it's also a cautionary tale of you need to, you have to just accept the fact that TV.
Somebody should send Eric's book to Tony Khan.
Yeah, right.
Tony,
you should really read that. But Jesse, it's also a cautionary tale preview of it. Eric's not paying us to sell the book, but if you buy the book, buy the book. It's a cautionary tale of you bag on Vince, but Vince accepts that the person higher than him is the TV rep.
Right.
And Vince doesn't piss and moan and cry about it. And here's the thing. Let's say Twitter existed when the Attitude Era ended. I think Vince would have been the same. I don't think he would have tweeted about it. I don't think he would have done powder about it. No. I think Vince would have just been Vince and just kept doing what he did.
Right.
Adding Twitter, I don't think makes Vince McMahon change the way that he chose to just be like, okay, John Cena's right. We got to stop rapping. We got kids in the arena. They're going to be here for 20, 30 years. It's a different revenue service. TV change. That's the thing people don't get. We'll talk more when Eric's book comes out, but that's the thing people don't get. Vince didn't change. Television did.
Right.
American society did.
Right.
And again, when we do Eric's book, write this down so I remember. When we do Eric's book, it needs to be...
You want to write it down? The pin died on me.
Yeah.
You're right.
when we do the book report, whenever Jesse's ready, and he'll tell us when he's ready, we also need to understand, we have to delve into what makes wrestling such a visceral hatred to the average societal person. Because it seems to not be allowed the same space that television and movies get.
I think it's a hell of a conversation to have.
And I think that we're going to sit down and we're going to analyze why wrestling is taken so much more serious than television and movies, even though at this point the veil is gone.
Right.
Even though at this point, as Eric said on the show, the women get in the ring knowing what these guys are capable of.
Right.
But guess what? You're still going to sit there in middle America and call the TV station 45,000 times because you ain't got nothing better to do because a man slapped a woman.
Right.
Even though they do it all the time in television dramas, all the time to prove and show things. But that conversation needs to be had at the same time because there's a lot of things that led to the death of WCW, and they're all in that book. And I think we're going to have to really, because here's the deal. We're really going to explain to people, you think you know what killed WCW. You really don't.
No, reading, kind of getting through some of the minutia of what started to lead to the death of WCW. It's not everything you think, but it is some of the things you think. And it's some of the things we've kind of said, too.
I think the best way to describe it is it's a lot of what you don't know, but it enhances the things you do.
The only thing that Tony Khan has over Eric Bischoff is Eric Bischoff was not a billionaire and didn't have a father to go to for all that money.
Yeah.
Because
that is the key, actually not just key, it's the only difference right now in AEW.
Because
WCW.
without that, like I said, like I tell you, Leroy, AEW's not going anywhere, but it's because of that reason. And it's because Tony has shown he will listen to TV execs to keep that show on air.
Because I'm sorry, he's the biggest mark with the most money.
By the way,
the Briscoes aren't on
to
television
give Tony Khan
because of that.
Got the deal with New Japan done.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So you can actually watch Dynamite and stuff on New Japan World now.
Yeah.
And clearly is still working on the deal with HBO Warner.
I will say this, though, Tony. Hate to be that guy. If Vince comes along, New Japan's going to listen to Vince just as much as they listen to you. Sorry, that's the way that goes.
If they can get both companies, they'll get both.
New Japan's not above working with people, folks.
New Japan is about business.
Yep. All right. Well, I had fun. How about you guys?
Yeah,
there you go.
It was a good show.
Hey, I would like to get we should give a nice heavenly birthday shout out to Paul Bear.
Ah, yes.
It would be his birthday today if he was still with us.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The man who should have probably inducted
The Undertaker,
Mark
if he was still here.
But
yes.
Vince was a very, very close second.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, folks, Jesse's book reports.
Well, it can never be DDP.
Right?
We're the only two guys who might get that reference.
Yeah.
They don't actually hate each other or anything.
No,
but if you know the story of the Undertaker and DDP, it could never be DDP.
To be fair, Sarah's been covered up in more than one way.
That's true.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
That's true.
Anyway, we will talk to you guys next week. Hopefully, we can get Adam on at some point. If he's feeling better, his schedule may not allow it. But
his work schedule, he said, was a little off.
If you guys want to come on, please message us.
Right.
On our private account, personal accounts, always willing to do it. Jesse's always willing to also.
And also put your top 5 list.
Please do.
Of Triple H proteges. We would love to see them.
Tweet them to us, and you know what? We will gladly read them on the show.
Yes.
No issue whatsoever.
Definitely.
And like I said, Adam from the pro wrestling world was legitimately someone who just randomly messaged us out of the blue because of a situation involving the pro wrestling world. Find them on Facebook, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great combination of they give you news, but all the admins do give you their takes on it,
right,
which is always fun to watch.
Right.
But yeah, no, Adams was someone who basically was one of the admins. He wasn't the admin that I originally spoke to, but one of the admins who just messaged us out of the blue and said, "Hey, I'd love to be on the show." And we were like, "Okay,
we got you."
Simple as that. So anyway, we would like to thank you guys all. Please go find us on YouTube. We are at 70.
Yeah.
Only 30 away. We are also on Spotify. We are also on Podomatic. We always give love to Podomatic, and we do hope to stick with them for much longer.
Right.
And again, you can also listen to us on Facebook because they do that little dig for us now.
Yep.
So
when I drop the page up and they have a little extra thing there,
you can listen right away.
Leroy
does a great job of editing.
And look forward to some music coming from
my band. Safe for Now. It will be 13 Cards original theme song. I hope to have it a little bit after the first week of May.
And also look forward to any other original music.
And also this week on Monday night, so tomorrow night, and I will be promoting it on not only our YouTube, but on our Facebook and on our Twitter and on all these other wrestling pages. I'm going live, baby.
There we go.
So come talk pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I got to get for you then?
What's
pretty
that?
soon? I got to get one of our new shirts that we're gonna have with our logo.
Yeah, definitely got to get that.
I got to get the logo
merch.
up.
We do have merch coming.
I'm working on.
Merch
I have
is
to
on
get
the
up there
way.
and get merch.
We are working on merch.
So if you want some, let us know.
Yep.
We'll send it to you.
We appreciate.
I'll figure it out.
Everyone
As
for
a matter of
listening.
fact, I'll actually get pricings from Leroy, so that way
Yeah.
tomorrow you come on, and I'll let you guys know the price.
That's great. We appreciate you all for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.